The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
I just got out of the new Alien movie.
Oh, was it good?
I didn't even know there was a new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them, so...
I've seen the first 4 over the past week in preparation for this. I saw the first one ages ago when I was quite a bit younger, but I didn't have any like recent memory of it. Yeah, Alien Romulus is definitely like the Force Awakens of Alien. Like, in that it's a greatest hits compilation that pales in comparison to the best of the franchise. But if you want it to get back to its roots, it does it. It does it with minimal crying and crashing, so it's fine. It's okay.
Baby Steps, the movie.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with these legacy sequels though now, man. Like,
Thank you.
I'm ready for something brand new. Or like, if you're gonna do Alien again, do something really fresh with it. You know, like.
Yeah, I'm more tired of like, oh, these are the Baby Steps movie. Like we made basically you made like a diet movie. It's like, can't you just make like a real movie that's like just
well, it's
good?
like who's actually gonna go see the Beetlejuice sequel? Like, I get it, you like Beetlejuice, but if you like Beetlejuice so much, just watch Beetlejuice. You know, you don't need to watch Beetlejuice. Watch the original.
Dude, don't say that again. Don't say it again.
Yeah, you already said it.
You're getting really close.
times.
I think you actually did say it 3 times already.
You did say it 3 times, but not in succession. So like,
Beetlejuice.
Does it have to be in?
What the actual? What's wrong?
Dude, the
with you?
podcast is gonna be ruined though.
Yeah.
Nah.
He's gonna start trying to marry a child live on air.
The
You can't have that.
Tony's here already.
You know what's weird about? I watched Beetlejuice a while back, and I was like, "This is a pretty good movie," except for how he wants to marry a child. That was like the only thing. I was like, "Hey, maybe you should have just not put that in the movie."
That's what makes it silly.
That's what makes it goofy, you know?
I was like, wow, yeah. Well, by the way, how am I sounding?
Such a silly movie.
You sound fine. You sound good.
Apparently, Dylan's a little too loud.
Okay, here's the thing.
I'm loud.
All right. So I even though like I haven't
turning you
been
down a little.
here, you're turning me down.
I'm turning Dylan down a little.
Not me. I
Oh,
think.
okay.
Hello,
I've
everybody.
read. Look, here's the thing. For all of you, for all of you, the fans, commenters, subscribers, I've read your comments, and the reason why I don't have a better mic is because, for one, I live in the middle of nowhere, so whenever Wi-Fi goes down, I have to switch to my phone, and I don't have a dedicated mic for my phone. And two, I am a musician. So what that means is that I'm poor. It means I'm homeless. Or no, I'm not homeless. I'm broke. I'm broke and I'm broke and I do music on the side. Like I am jobless, is what I was trying to say. I'm jobless and I do music on the side is what I was trying to say. So I don't have much money. Like in
I
fact,
think your
like
mic sounds fine.
okay, well, thank you. Thank you. I know
I'm
that
gonna
sometimes
go ahead
people
and
are like
say that microphone management is one of the most frustrating fucking things in the entire world. Because here's the thing. When you're streaming via OBS, it processes audio a little differently. So we could sound great on Discord, but sound fucking horrible over on the stream. So if I fix that,
Right.
it might sound okay on the stream, but now we can't hear each other. But then there's the fact that we also do videos as well as live streams. So many of us will have our microphones set up for the videos. So when we all come back to these calls, all four of us will have to readjust our microphones, and I then have to adjust the sound levels via OBS as well, which are all in one, by the way. It's not like I can
Puff
adjust
is in,
Dylan.
Like, he's like a continent away from the rest of us too, so it's not very good for like ping and stuff like that. Like my microphone, I think, sounds worse over Discord most of the time.
So the truth is, managing one microphone is very difficult. Managing 4 microphones is fucking ridiculous. And the thing to note is that none of us are in the same room like other podcasts. Like, there's a lot of podcasts
very easy.
where we'd be in like a recording studio, like, you know, you listen to the Ricky Gervais show or something like that. They're all in the same studio. With this, it's so difficult because sometimes Ian will get into the call and he will be the loudest thing on the stream, but will sound great in the call. And then the next week, he's a little quieter. So I'm thinking, okay, all right, this sort of sound better on the stream. Now I get people telling me he's inaudible, but then I go listen to it myself and it's fine. So
yeah,
the
it's also
audio
that we
thing,
can't. Yeah, we.
please
I love
guide
the
me
audience.
along. But if it sounds even a smidge acceptable, just leave it be, okay? We're very stressed. And I'm like Trey as well. I'm a starving artist too. I'm trying to get a job. I got fucking shot at. That happened.
Oh, well, that I don't think that has anything to do with
No.
getting
It's a
job.
metaphor.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor. Like,
okay.
as in, a job turned out to be a scam, and I dodged a bullet. But I'm also just like, God, why the fuck are people shooting at me? I'm just trying to pay my tax bill. So
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
it's a stressful time.
Yeah.
We will try to accommodate. And I don't want anyone to feel in the wrong for calling out bad audio. Just please be patient and don't be a dick about it.
And also, like, I guess I want to say, I do have like a music-centric job now that is paying okay. I was just talking about like past tense of like, hey, this is the reason why I don't have a designated interface with the microphone and drivers and stuff like that for my PC setup. Like, I have everything for my Mac setup, and people are like, why don't you just plug into that? And it's because the ADAT converter that I use is kind of old and really only works with Macs nowadays because the drivers for Windows are completely outdated. So
Also,
there you go.
I guess what I'm trying to say is,
plays music. He's handsome. He's got a job. He's got everything together.
That's why he's going on a date later.
That's right. Yeah, that's the truth.
but I guess what I'm trying to say is, when the audio is good, can you gas us up? Can you make us feel really good about it?
He'd be like, whoa, this sounds phenomenal. Everyone sounds great. Like, holy crap. There's like the perfect amount of reverb and compression on everybody. It's like you're in the same room.
Okay, Trey,
like,
we
yes.
get it. You do music.
The right amount of EQ, compression. There's a limiter on the master bus. That
Right, well,
what?
since you have verbal diarrhea, how about you introduce the show, Trey?
Verbal? You mean diarrhea? Verbal diary?
I didn't say verbal diarrhea. I said verbal diarrhea.
No, I swear, don't. You're not gaslighting, girl boss, and gatekeeping me. You
All
said
right, well,
diary.
the wonderful thing is that we have this video replay that you can go
Fair.
back and check.
Fair.
And
I heard diary personally, and I thought it was very funny.
it's almost
if-
like Discord sometimes cuts off the last part. Anyways, yes, eligible bachelor Trey Nobles.
That is insane.
Thank you, Nimbus. Please, can you just introduce the show?
Welcome everybody to Sunset City, the Sonic podcast for the modern and classic age. I am one of the hosts, Trey Nobles, and to whichever side of me you can introduce yourselves.
Well, that's just anarchy, dude. You have to choose one.
Well, usually the host
I have to
introduces
choose-
everyone.
Okay, well, fair enough. Wait, where am I at on the table? Am I on the far
You could just,
right?
you could just start
or am I in
introducing
the
us,
middle?
man. It's
You're
okay.
you're right of
Okay.
center, like politically.
right-
You are right
right
of
of
center.
I'm first.
Okay.
Then
Well,
then
let's
you.
let's start from the beginning of the table then. First off on the table we have Dylan Gorillaz64
Hello. Thank you.
or
Trey.
Garrulous rather. Yeah. And then we have let's go to Ian. We have
Hey,
Ian.
thanks for having me again. Hello.
Yeah, absolutely. And last, but certainly not least, our reigning dictator, Channel Pup.
Fucking safe, bruv, innit?
And again, I'm Trey Nobles. Welcome to Sunset City. Appreciate y'all being here. What is on the docket for today?
Well, first up is the housekeeping. So I'll.
Oh,
take
that's
it from
true.
here.
You got it. Okay, cool.
You want me to take it from here, or do you want to do it?
I can do it.
Remember, before
so-
we hit up the piss as well, you got to take
Yeah.
a quick look at the fish tank.
Oh yeah, Twitch.
The
Hey,
f-
Twitch.
Oh, Twitch.
Yeah, we got K
keep
K
forgetting
Charles
what you
Champ
mean
is there
by
on
that.
Twitch. There he is. Hey, they're kind of cool, aren't they? Housekeeping, Trey. Come on.
Oh yeah, my bad. Housekeeping. Housekeeping. Super chats. We appreciate y'all, but they will be read at the end of the show. And are we doing the call-in queue thing, or is
I
that?
would say not today. I think we're all a
Okay.
little stressed today.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Yeah. So no call-in queue today. So if you were really hoping for that, I am so sorry to disappoint once again.
We're all a little sad. Trey's got a date. Dylan broke something of his, an item of his property.
Well, no,
I-
this is good. Listen. I smoke a lot of weed,
No,
and last night I broke my law. And, oh, no, I didn't say this 'cause I was told this
I
all
don't
the
know.
time.
I just don't know
I
why you're trying to
smoked-
spin this as a good thing. Like,
I smoked too much weed. No, because I smoked too much.
no, but I feel like
And
you
when I
should be
broke it,
allowed
I was
to
like, you know, I
quit.
should really stop.
I feel like you should be able to quit on your own terms. No offense to you. I feel like you should have the right to do that. Is what I mean. And
Well-
then Ian
well,
didn't go to
I mean, I guess
college,
it wasn't
and
my
then
choice.
I have just had a shit time on the job search. So we're all pretty sad. This is the sad episode today.
No, I'm actually having a good day.
No,
to be honest.
Dylan,
Like I'm
Dylan.
I'm turning over a new leaf.
Dylan, if you're not gonna be sad, I'm gonna fucking make you sad. Okay? My dog is dead. Did you ever see how
Whoa.
cute he was? He's fucking dead.
I
Oh.
did see. You did show me pictures of him. He was very
Isn't he
cute.
adorable? Don't you think the world is a
He was,
lesser
yes.
place without him in it?
I mean,
I
I
think
guess so. Yeah.
People.
We're never going to get back to that, and that's the problem. Is we're never, like, Earth has peaked. We're never going to get back to what it was back when he was alive.
Aw,
No.
it's really upsetting. You did make me sad. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I'm
kinda
gonna spend the
badass.
rest of my life missing him, man. So yeah, with that out of the way, I guess we will consult the piss then, shall we?
Yes, let's do it. Yeah. Now that
Sad
Now that I'm
episode.
sad.
I don't want Dylan to be sad.
Well, listen, because you said you did, and then it
All right,
happens.
all right, all right. I'm gonna make you feel better. I'm gonna make you feel better. All right. I couldn't think of a better sibling I could ever grow up with than him. I was very lucky. He
That
was
is
my
very
little
wonderful.
bro.
But it did kind of make me sad still.
Think of all the critters in the world, and I happen
Right.
to cross paths with that one. Like,
That's
dude,
true.
I am the luckiest man in the world.
Out of the possible millions
is
and
true.
millions of years.
I do think about that a lot. Like when in terms of my
Yeah.
either my friends or just like, you know, creatures that I have known. It's like, damn, I lived at the same time.
No,
Yeah.
no,
You know,
no, no, no,
that's
no.
so
Look,
cool.
look, look. We're not talking about those other 5 out of 10 animals. We're talking about my 10 out of 10 animal, okay? Don't fucking insult him.
I've had. multiple 10 out of 10 animals. They were wonderful
No.
creatures.
Okay, I'm fucking around. Okay,
Why are we
Enough.
comparing?
enough fucking around. Every little doggo is special, but this one was that bit extra special. Anyways, do you feel better now, Dylan?
What is
Sure,
happening?
Oh my God, I don't know. I think we're just
Maybe-
kind of the same.
You know what? If
think
you're
we
feeling kind of
plateaued.
bad, if you're feeling maybe you should just have a boof, have a joint.
Yeah, have a boof
don't
is
have any of that.
crazy. Yeah, he broke it. Remember?
I broke it and I don't have anything left.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah,
have any
yeah,
more weed.
just-
You know what,
put
Dylan?
it
I
in-
got you. You can come over to my place.
Go
You
to
know,
your bathroom,
unwind.
remove a
No.
piece of toilet piping.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
This is
I can help you
incredible.
out. I can hook you up. All right.
No, I don't want any more. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I'm choosing to stop.
This
Dylan,
stream-
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, brother.
This podcast
This
is
my
sponsored
healing
by the Dare
experience, and I say
campaign.
it on you. I say it
Just
here.
have
so
a
people
nice
hear
little
it, and I can hold
inhale.
myself accountable.
Just
This,
short puffs. It's fine.
This,
Okay.
as long as you don't make eye contact, it's fine.
Oh, hang on a
This podcast is brought to you by the Dare campaign. The Dare campaign is to
Do
stop
all-
drug use and public
Drugs
schools.
are really
It's
excellent.
not a drug. It's
Yeah, it's not-
completely legal.
Well,
You
not in
wouldn't
the
download
UK.
a
It's
card.
not. My government would beg to differ.
That's more of your problem, then.
I don't see why you can't kind of just take my side for once and just sympathize with my struggle. I have
So I
to
don't
like.
want to.
I have to lay low. All right. So-
That's so you say it on a podcast. That's what a good idea.
Oh yeah, but I'm just playing a character. Remember, like the nostalgia critic. I'm just playing a character. This isn't the real me.
Oh
Okay.
shit! I gotta open the chat. I don't have the chat open.
Well, anyway, do we want to just hit up the piss? You know what? I'm gonna rename
Yeah,
the
for
piss.
sure.
let's go for it.
I'm gonna rename the piss. I'm gonna call it the weed.
The weed.
Yeah, that way it's like, oh, we're
I'll
taking a
hear
hit on.
someone try to improve their life, and they go, "You are going to fall back to my level."
You're gonna-
No, but I find it so funny saying we're gonna take a hit on the weed now. Like,
Oh boy.
no, this is a historic moment though, because this is the first time since Sunset City Episode 1 that the docket has been renamed. So
Oh wow.
This is
Oh
history.
wow!
yeah,
It's
So
all
it's now the Doobies.
it's the weed.
This is the Doobies.
It's the weed.
The Doobie Brothers.
The weed. So we got a new Shadow Generations trailer showcasing Shadow's new doob powers. Oh fuck! I mean,
The Doobie powers, yeah. Please, the rest of the cast laugh, please. That way, it's a funny joke, please,
Hey, I
everyone.
laughed. I was laughing.
But no, that trailer was sick. I
Yeah.
have been now avoiding looking at anything from Sonic X Shadow Generations because it's like I'm sold. I kind of just want to go ahead and just get the game in my hands.
Oh, brother, the second you get a paycheck in from Sunset City is going to be the second you have to start looking at the trailers, brother.
Oh, I'm looking at my watch. But anyways, I am what is it? I am excited for it. It's like it just looks phenomenal, and it's like kind of crazy how hard they are going for what was at least like slated to be a side piece content to like the remaster.
Yeah, my reaction to the trailer when it came out was I sat there for a second silence and I went, "What could be the catch? What's the catch? When is this game gonna show me one slight bit that it's not gonna be great?" And I've yet to see it, and I'm like, wait, is it wait, is Sonic Generations just the blessed game, the one that just is it's just gonna be good no matter what? How is this happening? I legitimately have not been this excited for a Sonic game since 2011.
Well, the thing that's hilarious is that Shadow Generations is doing the exact thing that I've wanted them to do since 2011. Not necessarily in terms of content, but like building on top of like what was already established
Yeah.
and making something sick as a result. It's like look how much easier it is to go wild with ideas when you already have a core fundamental like game at your hands. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
but they
It's also doing something I've been begging to see since 2011 as well, and that's bringing back old levels, dude. I've been saying this for years. They should
I
bring
know
back more
they
old
should
levels.
Bro, the
I can't
Sonic
believe
fandom's too inconsistent because we're like, oh, we got old levels brought back. Fuck that. Oh, they're bringing back old levels. awesome. Like, I know it's because they're different levels,
Yeah.
but like, I feel
Having
like
fun.
Sega might be like very confused when they're like, "Wow, we love Glyphic Canyon or whatever." I don't know if that's gonna be in there.
I guess I'll say this:
But like,
if Generations isn't in the title, don't bring back old levels. But then don't just make every game
Right, that's fair.
Generations. Okay?
You know
Well,
what?
yeah, no, like,
Yeah, just don't bring them back unless it's Generations.
yeah,
unless there's a real purpose.
No.
No.
Yeah,
no.
give us Silver Generations in the future. Like,
Yes, please. My God.
do it like every 10
Give you more to
years.
do.
Every 10 years, do a Generations. Unless you're going to release a Sonic game every 5 years, in which case maybe do it every 20 years.
Yeah.
So
Stagger it a little, you know?
I want to highlight a really funny comment. Someone said, Shadow takes a giant rip of the Black Arms bong and turns into an octopus. That was that thing that Black Doom came out of at the beginning of the trailer.
Yeah, no,
You see
he's
that
like-
thing that breaks? He broke his bong and it gets gets flooded.
Take a big inhale, Shadow. Take it down to your lungs.
the thing that stood out to me that I was like, oh wow, is that, you know, with a lot of people are kind of comparing these to like the guns or the wisps, and the thing that immediately stood out as like why this is just going to be so much better is every time they used a Doom ability, he is doing it in conjunction with moving forward. So like,
Yes.
for example,
Yes.
he doesn't just jump into the air and then like the wings have to do like spin and then they shoot you off. It's like, no, bam, you're just off, you're flying.
I
Or like the one
noticed
that
that.
really,
That's
the one that
big-
really stood out.
See, that's what I've been thinking about, because like,
Yeah.
the problem with things in the past, even in Frontiers, let's say, a lot
Yeah.
of the new tech and stuff they've added to the game doesn't help with movement. It's mainly combat focused.
wind up
This
animation.
stuff they've
as well.
added for
Yeah.
Shadow is combat and movement focused.
And movement.
which
Yeah.
is crazy. Like, that's what
Okay.
we need. That's what we need to
Yeah.
improve the formula from here.
And what's funny
That's-
as well is this
yeah.
isn't something that people were resoundingly complaining about. It was an issue, but people weren't resoundingly complaining about it. Yet they've
Yeah, and yet they
addressed
fought
it. Like, Sonic X Shadow Generations has improved upon things that people weren't actually asking for en masse, which makes me really happy.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree in that it looks like they're using a lot of the Wisp tech here. Like, I think there's a lot that's traceable to the Wisps. In that, like,
Squid is
when-
basically just spikes.
no,
like,
Squid is
like
like
better.
Spikes and
It's
Frenzy.
like Frenzy and Spikes.
Yep. And then fucking the flight wings are a lot like the Eagle Wisp. But the difference is you can continue boosting while you're doing this. You're not turning into a different creature entirely unless you're using
Yeah.
the squid move.
The only thing I saw that had like a wind-up animation was that like Doom like X attack. I forgot what it was called, but that was the only thing I think had like it stops you in your tracks, but also flings enemies forward and
and you
destroys
can teleport.
terrain.
You can then
And you
teleport.
teleport. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's cool. So yeah, like I think it like that is a good point where it's like this wasn't something that people were like complaining about, but like it was an issue because like we're all so hyper focused on like the more obvious problems. And with Shadow Generations, they're like, okay, we are addressing the obvious problems, but also like let's fix up some other stuff too. Like they're going above and beyond for this, which is like really incredible. It's like it's going to be a good time.
Looking at the chat, I feel like we're missing a trick in not marketing this podcast to stoners. Like, just get hoofed and listen to Sunset City. Like, I feel maybe this is the
Okay,
perfect thing.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay,
this
this is the last thing I'm going to say about weed today. I promise. But like, if you get high and watch Sunset City, good on you. I feel like that's probably
It's probably the best way to consume us.
good
Yeah,
move.
it's probably the
And
best
I'm
way to
not
consume.
saying
Whoa,
I'm
don't
stopping
consume
because
me.
it's
Who do
bad
you
in
think you
general.
are?
I'm stopping because I do too much of it. So if you can control
Yeah.
yourself when you use it, fantastic. I
Yeah,
just got like stuff in my blood that makes it so I cannot control myself.
Yeah,
And
I
me,
just
I just like me some lettuce.
Yeah, no,
downloaded
that's
a
fine.
car. You know,
I wish I could download it.
I downloaded a house. I downloaded a car.
You know what? We need to put like a bong on the table of the Sunset City studio.
Just a line of cocaine. That's
Okay,
already.
you're going a bit far now, aren't we?
I'm switching
No.
from marijuana to cocaine. Yeah.
I'm getting over my weed addiction by going to something considerably stronger.
Yeah, it's like a bit in Family Guy where he's like, no,
His face
no
is
drop
really
of alcohol will touch these lips again. Hey, Peter, what are you doing? Crack. Peter, what the fuck?
Crack.
Can't do weed. if
That
it's-
is insane. That's insane behavior.
I love that.
God, I love
that.
it.
Well, it's Peter Griffin, so it's not too insane.
I mean,
Peter
fair,
Griffin core.
valid.
That's so Peter
But,
coded.
So Peter coded.
yeah,
We're kidding Peter.
Just something as simple as like just like so you have like the Doom little 5 blasts or whatever. Like just something as simple as like I can choose when I want to shoot like some of the enemies in front of me because it's still gonna lock on. But there's just a different like this is just a very basic thing, but it's a different feeling from like okay, I'm holding the boost. There's guys in front of me. I'm still holding the boost, so I guess I'm gonna kill them. There's a difference from that and like I'm boosting and like now I'm like 50 feet away from them, pew pew pew, and I shoot them, or I'm right under them and go pew pew pew. Like that, it's still the same result. Just even that tiny little bit, like me having control just to look a little bit cooler, that matters, you know. Like just even something as small as that. Now that should be where you build off and move forward. But like just every single ability they showed, like I really loved with the swim one. I was like, oh, I see all these little paths. It's probably going to give you like a tiny little boost to the left and right. And it's like, no, he was going boom, diagonal, boom, diagonal, boom, diagonal. I was like, oh, that looks fun. That looks fun to move around in, and you're keeping your speed going, and that's what you want, you know.
Yeah.
So like new tricks should serve to give you a little extra spice, you know, and it feels like that's what it did. It feels like, you know, that core gameplay is still everything you want it to be. These just they're a little extra seasoning, you know, a little extra seasoning on the steak.
It also seems to give you more incentive to use these abilities and to acquire them, because it's like I've been playing Doom Eternal, replaying it recently. It's fantastic. Doobie Eternal, Doobie Brothers.
Doom Eternal.
Doobie Eternal. But there probably is a weed mod for Doom Eternal. If it's not already made, it's probably in the works. But fantastic game. And like that, like the developers of the game talk about being like in the fun zone, which basically means that you're using all of your tools to effectively like get the job done. That's what they call it. They literally call it the fun zone, because every game developer is like, yeah, there's literally 30 seconds of fun that you have to stretch out for like an entire game. Like, how can you do that? And with Doom Eternal, it's reading enemy patterns, switching to the appropriate weapon for that said enemy, and then like dispatching them as quickly as possible and killing them and stuff like that. And with Shadow Generations, it seems to be like, because of course like the boost can still kill enemies, I'm assuming. Although I did like in Frontiers where the boost didn't do that. I think they were cooking with that. But regardless,
check
pretty
the
important
back
for
rooms.
Generations, I would say.
Yeah.
Check the back rooms, guys.
Let me see. Sonic Weed Zone. What does that say? Huh? Does that say
Sonic the Hedgehog?
wait, got a better one. Hang on. Wait.
You can retitle this to the weed episode.
Yeah, smoke weed, meth. So stupid. But anyways, back to what I was saying is that it seems like Shadow Generations, it's like you pretty much I don't necessarily say you have to, but you're gonna have a more efficient and fun time using these abilities to get the fastest times and everything. I'm really excited to see how the speedrunning aspect of this game is gonna like take shape. Like, it's gonna be very interesting.
It's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Like, if that Doom power where you can kick the enemy and like teleport to it, it can literally go anywhere.
Oh, for sure.
People are gonna be finding crazy skips, man.
Oh, yeah.
I also noticed with the little demon power, like the spike wisp equivalent, like just something very simple. Like he jumped up into the circle, and then when he launched himself out, it had like a fast arc. It was like boom, you're just out. So I was just like, oh, every single thing here is fast, and that's great. You know, like it really feels like everything's gonna flow into each other. So
stuff that
so
complements the flow state with minimal wind-up animations. They cook.
Yeah. Wind-up animations, I have no idea why there's still a thing in Sonic games. I understand it for fighting games because like frame buffers and whatever, things like that. Like it's part of the gameplay loop. But like for Sonic games, it's like no, like the reason why the best Sonic games feel as good as they do is because they were instantaneous in terms of like their control, and like the only thing that was holding you back was just the momentum side of things. But you were always in complete control of the character. So like
another thing that makes me kind of happy to see is just how much of like we've already seen how many like alternate paths are in that space colony arc zone. It is a smorgasbord of alternate paths, and we're seeing that the Doom Wings open up alternate paths, and who knows what else is going to open up alternate pathways. We've seen kind of how like the Doom bullet attack, I'm just going to call it that, like how that could open up a secret area of the hub world. Like, what other secret areas could it potentially be unlocking in the stages? We've seen how when he turns into the squid, which kind of looks like if they did the whole like egg wisp armor thing or the Death Egg Robot Mark II from Sonic Forces and decided to merge it with
like
the
that,
Eldritch Horror thing. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, if Sonic Forces had stuck with the Eldritch Abomination final boss. But that can like sort of web swing off of these different grapple hooks and stuff like that. What would we do as regular Shadow there instead? Like, that's something I'm very curious to see. And what does that like purple Ivan Ooze ass bullshit do to just regular Shadow? We see that
Right.
Mr. Beastie can probably not the best name for him can
Mr.
like crawl along that shit. But like, what happens with Shadow? Does he like slip? Is he very slippery on that? Like, what do we got here? Like,
damage. You know what I was thinking of? It reminded me of I forget what the level's called in Shadow the Hedgehog. Remember that level where you needed to ride the green disc? Sorry, not the disc. You had to ride that like weird metal disc thing over the green goo.
Yeah.
It sort of made me think about that. Like, I think it might be like that.
I think it
Like, if you
could
touch
be a
it, you get
thing.
hurt or die.
What was I gonna say? I'm so sorry. I think it's a thing.
Sorry.
No, am I still coming through?
yeah, you are.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think that's part of like what I was talking about in terms of like the incentive. It's like you could probably drudge through that part just as Shadow, but like you're gonna have a better time using the power ups to like
You have
effectively
to
go
use
through
the
that stuff.
Lost World parkour system to scale the wall. I recently played console Lost World again, and my god, the parkour system in that game sucks.
It's such like, in my opinion, I do like the idea
Yeah,
of
the
the
concept is
parkour
great.
system, but like, Jesus Christ, was
I
it
think
like
it would be cool
butchered?
if you brought back the somersault move from Sonic Adventure 2, right? But hear me out. It's on R1, all right, and it replaces the fucking quick step. We don't need the quick step anymore. The time has been and gone for quick
I
step.
really want a roll button back. I want
But
to roll
make it-
down.
That's what I want.
Well,
yeah.
hold on. Hear me out. Make it so that you can do a somersault in air, but if you do a somersault in air close to a wall, it homes onto the wall. That would be awesome. And imagine how he could use that in combat. Grab onto a wall and just plow through a fuck ton of enemies and stuff. It'd be so cool, man. It'd be so cool.
I mean, it just shows that there's still a lot that they could do with these movesets that doesn't hinder
For sure.
the player's like forward momentum and I guess like flow state, if
Like,
that makes
another
sense.
That I'm really pleased to see here was because when like Frontiers came out, I was kind of like, it's really cool that Sonic has this new moveset, but it's kind of a shame they didn't incorporate any of that into cyberspace. Like, there's no combat in cyberspace, nothing Psy-Loop related in cyberspace, but why shouldn't there be? Like, and
I don't need it to be there because that wasn't the point of it. It was
Well, no,
meant
but
to be like the open zone slower and combat focused, and then the levels are speed
yeah, but
oriented.
Shadow Generations is putting those abilities in. It's a bit more
no,
combat
I'm saying
focused
I'm
than the
glad
action
they
stuff.
didn't force combat into Frontier's cyberspace because that would have made it worse. I think.
But wouldn't it be
But
cool
with Shadow,
if,
it
like,
looks good.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be cool if there was like a secret area with a hidden boss in cyberspace, and one of the missions is find that area and fight the boss in there, and then you get extra keys?
I'm not gonna
As long
lie.
as it doesn't interfere with the regular level, that's fine with me.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. Like, you can basically go through it the speedy route, or you could have a secondary S rank quota or something that incentivizes finding shit. I don't know. I think it's kind of sad when you make the entire point of a Sonic action stage speed, and I feel like Shadow Generations is kind of showcasing how we can have a marriage between an open zone format, even though I expect it to be much smaller, and
Right.
then you've got action stages within that still kind of encompass parts of that gameplay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more than okay with the open zone aspect being smaller because it just means that they can actually like organically, fill out that world to where it's fun to just traverse in.
Oh yeah,
I
well,
think-
it's gonna be like Bowser's Fury. I feel
Yeah.
like.
I'm kind of hoping
exactly.
that Shadow Generations is kind of going to be like a demo for the next open zone Sonic game. So you get a little open world, and it's shorter than what the next open zone game will be. But expect the next open zone expect the next open zone game to be a big version of this. Basically, I would
hope
love
so.
that. Hey.
I think that it is like, well, I mean, then again, we've been surprised before, but I think that's what this is. You know, if we were gonna talk, like, I guess, I guess logistically, I couldn't imagine them going this hard for this and incorporating stuff from Frontiers, right? Like the open zone thing, because they
Only to
could
go
have just done
back
like
to just
only
regular
to-
Frontier.
yeah, only to just revert back to like doing a Tears of the Kingdom thing where they like reused, the world and stuff like that. Tears of the Kingdom is
if
great,
they
by the
did
way.
that, I'd be pissed
yeah.
if they brought back like the
Yeah.
Starfall Islands for the next
Yeah,
open
exactly.
Sonic game.
Like they just rehashed the same thing with Zelda. It worked because there was a lot more that, like, the world itself was very, like, it was very fun to traverse in the first time around, and they just added more stuff and made things more interesting, and plus it was a direct sequel, so it makes sense. But like, Sonic Team doesn't like to do direct sequels anymore, so I don't think that's going to be the case. But I'm also like, reserving my expectations. I would like to think that they're going to build upon, again, like what Shadow Generations is doing for the next game, but you never know.
Yeah.
No, I think so too. I think, they're showcasing a much higher quality, albeit smaller, condensed version, basically. And it still
Right.
kind of, coincides with the Generations thing, in that, you've still got the returning levels. And I was even quite pleased to notice that the White World still keeps some things in theme with the original White World, in that, like,
Yeah.
you've got the space colony arc visible in the background, or like a little diorama of it, and it's got that blue text.
I love that the
you can-
text is visible in that cutscene.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
kind of
So
like
funny,
that we're bringing that back, and but this also means that, unlike Kronos Island or whatever, like, a big problem with like Frontiers' open zones was that it's like you go to one corner of the island, lots of grass here. Let's go to the other side. Oh, more grass. Okay, what about here?
Yep.
Grass. Okay, here, grass. Like, there's no visual variation across the islands. There's no geography to it. It's just, here's
You
this
want world
grass
building.
part. There's a hill. There's a couple of rocks here. That's kind of interesting. Whereas with Shadow Generations, already we know, go to one end of the map, you'll get a little bit of Space Colony arc. Go to another, it's very Soliana coded. And I don't want to go too far into like what other zones are appearing until we get to that segment on the piss. Because you'll see on the piss, I've broken this discussion down so that we can kind of approach each thing. So if you haven't got the piss open, you're
I thought that was
good...
not what it was called anymore.
You're right.
Oh yeah, it's called the weed.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm
the
so
weed.
I'm sorry.
You
Yeah.
renamed it like 12 minutes ago.
I know. Don't rub it in.
You-
It's okay. Look. Don't hit me over the head with it.
Puff he's been doing some puff, I think. Did I just call you Puff? I called you Puff.
Yeah, you did. I had some yesterday. Well, some deluxe
You know what's
lettuce.
funny? I think I called you that because it's very close to Pup, and also there's a character in the D&D campaign I run called Puff, who is a stoner.
No, I am inescapable. No, but I am a little scatterbrained, I won't lie. But you know how it is. Yeah, Shadow's new Doom powers look cool. I guess we can probably move on to the next part of the pit. The weed.
Sure.
Fuck. The next part of the discussion. Sorry.
Let's just revert back to the piss. We're used to it.
No.
Yeah.
You don't
Wait, did you
make
just say you
progress.
love the piss, Dylan?
No, I didn't. I said let's go back.
No,
Let's go back.
Not. No. Look, you guys are doing the thing that Sonic Team does when like something new
What,
doesn't
we go
quite
back?
stick, so you just immediately push it back.
But you made it and it didn't stick. I feel like if the person
Yeah.
who did it makes it not stick, then it makes sense to turn around.
Look, do you
Yeah.
prefer weed or piss?
And here's the thing. You know what Sonic's doing? Sonic Team is doing right now? They're reverting
moving
back
forward.
to
No, they're not. No, they're
they're
moving
going
forward.
back they're going back to Sonic Generations.
No, but they're moving Sonic Generations forward by adding an open zone to it.
And making a
What-
game
what
that looks
you're
like it came from
what you're
2019.
Yeah, that's moving forward, bitch. What you're,
That is-
what,
That's ahead
what
of-
you're basically
It
saying
seems
is like,
it came out on the PS2, so
This
technically
would-
they're moving forward.
what you're suggesting is if like they were like, oh, we're gonna make a Sonic Generations 2, and it's got Green Hill and Chemical Plant in it, which is what the
Yeah.
next game will be.
No.
Look, the weed stays for now. Just give it
Nah,
a chance.
The weed stays for now. It's
Yeah,
an insane sentence.
If it doesn't catch on, if weed doesn't catch on, then
if weed as a product,
then we won't revert it back. We won't revert it back to the piss. We'll call it something else. This is what happens with my pup avatar. Every time I change it, people are like, "Oh, we hate it. Go back to the old one." And I don't go back to the old one. I make the new one work. That's how I do things.
And people wonder, and I wonder why people hate me.
Listen, the new
I
pup
possibly
avatar
hate you. You're wonderful,
stays.
dude.
It's perfect. Oh, okay, yeah, no, we don't hate you, Ian.
If someone
No.
hates you, then I don't like them, dude. They
No,
don't know.
yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry. The joke was supposed to be, Pup is like, yeah. Whenever I get suggestions for things, I ruthlessly
Exactly.
deny them, and that's why people
Oh, okay.
hate me.
No,
That's
it's
fair.
not that
I got into
ruthlessly
defense mode because
deny
one of my
them.
friends was feeling bad about himself. And I
No,
was like,
no, 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 no.
No, I
Don't do
just
that.
try to make the new version work. I don't think that's bad, man. I'm not gonna do Channel Pup The Force Awakens. I'm gonna do a new thing, and I'm gonna make it better. I'm gonna make this one work.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
I've never believed in if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I believe if it ain't broke, break it and make it into art.
And if they don't like it, they're
Fuck
wrong.
them.
kill him.
Yeah.
If it, yeah,
If they don't like it, then give them weed. You know,
Give them weed.
just
So
force
all I'm-
them. No,
all
I'm
I'm
kidding.
saying
Don't do
is-
that. That's a bad
all I'm
idea.
saying is-
Don't ever do
Oh
that.
my god.
all I'm
I just,
saying
again,
is,
I keep saying I'm not going to talk about weed, but there's this really crazy moment my daddy told me about
Yeah.
where, like, he said his friends had, like a family reunion,
Oh.
and someone at the reunion brought, like, weed bread and put it on the table and didn't tell anybody. So someone ate, like, a shit ton of weed bread, and they, like, greened out, and everyone thought they were dying because they were like, "What happened? What's going on?" And they had to go to the hospital, and I assume that was the most awkward family event that has ever happened. Like that. Imagine explaining, "Oh yeah, sorry, that was the really, really aggressive weed bread that I put out and didn't tell anyone about."
Didn't tell anybody. Sorry, I was high. I didn't notice.
It's probably what it was.
no, but you know the thing is, like, I get severe weed paranoia. By the way, for the sake of the UK government, I'm playing a character right now. Okay, I get severe weed paranoia. But like, here's the thing, is like, for me, it's like. It's like going to a fancy restaurant in that, like, yeah, you have a bit of the hoofity-boof, and then you go to Tesco, get a meal deal for, like, £4.25, and it's got, you get, like, a sandwich, you get some crisps, or chips, as you guys would call them, and you get a drink, and then it's like, I get some cookies as well. They're not in the meal deal, but I get some cookies, and it's like, I take it back, and I've got a banquet. Like, because when you're fucking razzed, it's like you've got the most delicious fucking 3-course meal right there, and it's
Food
like
does taste better, yeah.
all for the low price of $4.25.
Look, I'm just saying, like, it's so funny hearing Pup talk about drug use because you can tell he's never done like any.
That's untrue. That's actually
The
untrue.
humanity boof is crazy. That's the funniest way to describe.
No, but
smoking
no.
weed.
This is like how people say that, like, back when I had a girlfriend, like, I had a coworker that referred to me as like the most virgin non-virgin ever, and I think the same applies to like drug usage as well. It's just, you know, it ain't obvious, you know.
I mean, I guess so.
Also, Sundrop7, no, I do mean cookies because they have like chocolate chips in them and they're all soft. It's the Tesco dairy milk ones, you know, and they're all soft and chewy. Yeah, I really do mean cookies. Thank you, Dank Harvey. But here's the thing I was mentioning about Alien Romulus earlier. I was like, I feel like every time Disney takes the thing I like, I suddenly need to move on to harder stuff, you know? Like, so like Disney's Alien, I'm like, I've lost a lot of love in like Star Wars since it went to Disney. I've lost a lot of love in Doctor Who since it went on Disney Plus. And I'm just like, you know what's going to happen is they're going to legalize marijuana and Disney are going to become the sole dispensary of it. And I'm going to need crack after that. I'm going to need fucking heroin once Disney gets their fucking mitts on it.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
It's gonna happen,
Personally
dude.
speaking.
Disney will give it 50 years, give it 100 years. Disney will own the rights to marijuana.
We're not going to have to worry about that in 100
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, and like
I
I
will.
mean,
I
I'm
plan
gonna
on
I'm
living
gonna
that way.
outlive. I was gonna say I'm gonna outlive all of you, so I'll just be like, back in my
Like the
day,
immortality is created, I guess.
back in my day, Weed.
The only reason we die is because we accept it as an inevitability, and that is a Stewie Griffin quote, but it is one that has rung true with me for life. And I'm telling you now, I refuse to die.
Okay.
I'm just thinking of those like headlines or like Florida man is too angry to die. Like that's what I'm thinking.
You can
Like,
you
I'm used
can blow me to bits, turn me into ash and dust, but my consciousness will prevail.
Could throw me to the wolves, 'cause I am undiable.
Hell yeah. That's such a good song, man. But okay. Right. That was fun. Fun tangent. What do we say we get back to the next item on the piss? The weed.
Yeah, what the hell were we supposed to be talking about?
It's been a while, okay? I'm sorry.
It's
okay.
been a while. Anyway.
Okay, so the next up is we're going to talk a little bit about the bosses, including the new reveal that we got at the end, Metal Overlord.
Yes.
A little Metal Overlord. He's a tiny little version of Metal Overlord.
I don't know if he's necessarily
That's
smaller in scale. I don't know if he's like smaller in scale, but it seems like the fight itself is like. No, I don't think he really. I think he's the same scale wise as he was in Sonic Heroes. But regardless,
there's no
what do you
way.
mean? Did you not see like the shot at the end? Like that looked kind of to scale, I guess.
No,
but regardless,
Shadow should be a tiny speck compared to his.
I mean,
little one.
like.
Wait, Supersonic wasn't a tiny speck.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
yeah, he was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think
okay,
he was
never
bigger
mind.
before he transformed.
I think you know what. You might have a bit of a point. Looking at it now.
You know what's weird? He looks like when you compare the sizes of the characters to him. I think they're definitely smaller next to him than when he's Metal Overlord and flying around. I think for some reason he ditches a bunch of parts that aren't going to be useful. Maybe get smaller.
Is it like
you know what?
Yeah, you
there's one way to determine this truly. Run a poll.
Okay, what is it?
Run a poll.
Run a poll.
Yeah. Democracy, the best way to solve problems.
Is Metal Overlord smaller now?
I think he's average. You know, personally speaking, I think that's very average. He's not small. He's average. Come on.
That's an average man.
Hedgehog robot.
Yeah, but like it seems like the fight. I think it's very cool. I think the fight's a little bit like less intense than the actual Metal Overlord boss fight,
makes
which is
sense. One is like the finale, the others because same goes for Perfect Chaos as well.
But with Perfect Chaos, you still like attacked him in the same way. It was still kind of the same boss fight, quote unquote, as it was back in Sonic Adventure 1. It was just like, scaled down possibly like a little bit for Sonic Generations, but like it was still overall the same. You still beat him the same way.
Given what we saw for the Biolizard fight, I would have to imagine that there's no way it's just like you hit him with a bunch of stuff on the water and there's no like crazy quick time events, no crazy spectacle. Like I'm sure it will amp up.
Yeah, and like I saw some like different attack patterns. Like they're gonna get creative with these bosses for sure. It just seems like with Metal Overlord, it's like even more separated from its like source material in terms of like how the boss is going to go down
the water. Yeah.
I'm gonna open up a video of the boss fight, and I'm gonna just see how close they get to him. If they are but
in the thumbnail right next to him.
If they are but a tiny, tiny wee speck up to his face, I'm right. If they are not, then I am wrong. So I'm just watching the hero's boss fight now. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
This isn't fair. You're just like clocking out on your lunch break?
No, I'm not clocking out. I'm watching it with the sound off.
Yeah, you're just pooping on company time. That's what's happening.
I'm watching it with the sound off, dude. To be honest, no, I think you're right. I don't think he has shrunk. He's definitely not a perfect chaos size boss.
Yeah.
It's just the feeling.
I know what you mean. Like it makes sense that like he would seem a lot larger.
Well, when he's doing the transformation, he looks huge, in the CGI cutscene. But then when you see him in gameplay, he's about look at IDW Metal Overlord. Okay, this is where things get muddy.
It's also just like the context, because obviously, like the final boss, like you're in the sky, so everything feels big, especially when he's in it.
Well, that's what I was saying with this was that
it's
it's perceived because it's like you're thousands of feet in the air, and it's just you and the boss. There's no other structures around you. That's the only thing you're looking at. So whenever that thing takes up the entire screen of your like CRT or whatever, it looks massive. But like whenever you put him down to scale, like near the water or however the boss is going to go, and you see buildings flying by, and you can kind of get a reference point to how big he actually is, it seems like he's a little smaller than what we thought. But fair, regardless of that,
IDW's Metal Overlord is a big boy, comparatively. Yeah. He's a big fella. He's a big pooper. Yeah. But I don't think this debate is worth any more conversation.
No, it's not. It's a funny thing. But regardless, I just think it's funny how like this boss, at least compared to like the other bosses that we've seen, was the one that seemed to have changed the most. The only other boss that I can think that changed drastically from its source material in the OG generations was Silver's boss fight. But that made sense because Silver's boss fight in 06 was kind of doo-doo, you know? And
well, I think there's some time displacement going on probably because
right.
So, people have argued with me on this, but in my video, I did say, looking at the background, welcome back Chemical Plant for the 8th time. Because some folks have said it's the fallen egg fleet thing, which I think there's credence to, because it certainly looks that way at first glance, but upon close inspection, the buildings are absolutely the background buildings of Chemical Plant. There is no... Whether or not they've just reused the assets to kind of create that look, which is a better way of doing asset reusage than to say, oh, it's Chemical Plant again. But it sure as hell does look like Spaceport, at the very least. Like, someone said, that's not Chemical Plant, that's Spaceport. I'm like, yeah, that's
why would we have 2 forces levels, though?
That would mean that, yes, we do have a second forces level, which would... I think
Unless just the arena for the boss fight. It might just be the arena.
Time displacement would make some sense, because, like, we are seeing the Black Doob enemies in the other stages and stuff like that, and also like obviously like I've lost my train of thought.
I mean, it's just asset reuse, which was like gonna be the case regardless, you know, considering like the the themes of the game and everything like that. I don't know. I think I still think it's not distracting. I think the only problem with asset reuse is whenever it's like overtly distracting and it's like, okay, I can't separate this from its source material because it either wasn't changed that much.
A city's gonna be a city. I know that I think Sock Tiger was making a joke about like how they reused Supersonic's eye textures for Shadow. Now this was just a joke. This was just like, reusing things.
Reuse of eye textures.
But it's like that would be a case in favor of asset reuse because like it's a red eye. Like,
right.
It was a discussion I remember having with Nick. Actually, was kind of like he kind of felt like bringing back Green Hill would be more okay if they weren't bringing back the same assets. But then there was a part of me that was like, would I really want them to spend a bunch of time and energy making Green Hill number 5? You know, or would I rather just whip it together and literally go for the asset reuse excuse? Ideally, neither, unless you've got something new to say about it. Like, if you're going to do something brand new with this place, then fine. Right. Like, I'm going to say this right now. There was a time when I was like, blow up Green Hill Zone. I never want to see it ever again. But now I'm like, if they do want to say it's Sonic's home and build a little village there, then okay, do that. Do that then.
I think it should have been a thing. Yeah, and I also feel like that should have been a thing that should have happened at least like 7 to 10 years ago. Where it's like, if you're wanting this to be like Sonic's home, then go ahead and like let us know that. That way we're not like, go ahead and make it home. That way we're not just
put stuff in it that we wouldn't otherwise see. Like, because that's the thing. Spiral Mountain, you know, in Banjo-Kazooie, you still get to explore it, but you explore it from the perspective of it being like a home. And when people make the Wispy Woods comparison, that makes no fucking sense, because that would be like saying, I don't want to fight Robotnik again. Yeah. Like,
the difference between Kirby and Sonic is that every time they use Wispy Woods, he's different. And then
Wispy Woods is also
they
a villain.
Add Green Hill back to Sonic, it's exactly the same, except they just put, like, sand.
Wispy Woods is a character. That would be like saying, oh, we fight Robotnik every game. Like, no. Like, that's stupid.
He's not always the same. Like, I think a lot of the times it's implied to be the same tree, but some games just have entirely different trees. So he's almost sort of like a genre of boss, I would say. I wouldn't say he's always the same character. But,
Yeah.
they always do like a Wispy Woods-esque fight.
He'll also
Yeah,
get like new
even
attack.
then, like, sorry, go on, Ian.
No, you're fine. I was just saying he'll get new attack patterns, new like framework in the story, like where does he appear, what's going on. There's
yeah.
like there's meaning to fighting that character. But like, you know, there's a bit. I mean, also like, you know, we harp on Sonic for doing this, but let's not forget, like, and this isn't to defend Sonic. This is to say, like, you know, this isn't like Sonic fans being overly nitpicky or whatever. You know, we similarly critique Mario when they just reuse the exact same concepts for levels. Like especially with like the new Super Mario Bros. Like the whole thing people didn't like is like, sure, these are new locations, but they're the exact same layouts. There are not layouts, like order of like how you're going to it is the exact same theming, and so like that's why people really loved Super Mario Wonder, because like it actually like expanded and made so many fun ideas.
It flips the script, you know, like it does something very unique and interesting. Cyberspace, I almost
complain. You know,
I almost forgave Cyberspace back in the day because I was like, well, at least it's all in the sky now. But at the same time, it doesn't do anything that impacts gameplay in any meaningful way. So, you know what? I'm not going to give Cyberspace a pass. At the end of the day, Cyberspace is like a Sonic-themed racetrack, and they've just been like, hey, these are... But,
So, yeah, well, like, I also wanted to make this point. I'm so sorry, but, like, it also helps when the games are good. People are more forgiving when the games themselves... I know that seems like a very blunt way to say it, but
Frontiers
the reason why
is
people...
the greatest game ever made. What the fuck are you talking
No,
about?
I'm not saying anything about Frontiers, but what I'm saying is that we had Sonic 4 Episode 1, which was kind of subpar. Then we had Generations, which was
that
great.
Didn't bring back zones, though. Sonic 4 didn't bring back zones.
It basically did.
What are you talking about?
Those are brand new.
Zones.
I'm killing you. I'm gonna murder.
How can you say that? Like, no, Green Hill is not in it. It's Splash Hill.
It's
you
Splash
big
Hill.
silly. Yeah.
It's not even the same name.
Casino Street, brother.
Brother. What is that?
What's that, brother? What's that, brother?
But you get my point. Is that like we've got like we associate these locations now with subpar to bad games. So every time we revisit these locations, like we are just reminded of how butchered they were the last time.
Green Hill from Sonic Forces.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've said it before. The Sonic fan base is a traumatized fan base, like genuinely.
Yeah.
Not even as a joke, like genuinely.
I'm still not going to attribute my aversion to returning levels to trauma, though. Like, it's a platforming game. I don't just want to play it.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I'm not saying you disliking. I'm saying like the fact that like everyone has such like a visceral reaction that comes from the fact that this is bad and they keep doing it to us. Like it hurts, you know.
Are you called Ian Waffles because you like waffles?
No, I've never had waffles.
Does that mean you hate pancakes?
I've never had pancakes. No, wait, I had them recently for the first time.
There is no way you haven't eaten.
I've never had weed either, so that's why I haven't been into the discussion.
Man, you just haven't lived, you know. You just haven't, you know.
My favorite thing to do is drink milk and eat pizza. That's my.
I love milk though. Like milk is so good.
Valid.
Milk is like people like. How can you just drink milk? I'm like, dude, easily. It tastes so good.
Because it's milk. Because milk's great.
Like, it comes from a cow. It's like, yeah, so does steak. And moving on, you know, like.
But yeah, no, I'm really excited for. Oh, I don't know if this is going to be mentioned in the thread that we have for later, but they did mention that there would be like little interactions with other characters and bosses. So it seems like, hey, we might actually get a rival fight with Sonic. And I would love if there's the big bosses and rival fights, because you know that would.
Izuka has mentioned that this story will cross over with the original Sonic generation.
Yeah.
Well, so there is the possibility that Shadow in the middle of all of it was just like, oh, fuck off, Sonic. Like,
yeah.
And I hope the game ends with like it's the Generations final boss or whatever. Sonic and Little Sonic run off, and then it just cuts to Shadow. It's like, Shadow, why don't you help? And he goes, huh, happy birthday, Sonic. Have fun. The end. Cuts a credit.
It's like Sonic. You got this. You got this, Sonic. You know you can handle this. I've been through some shit. I had to relive everything.
maybe in Shadow Generations we'll see what he gets up to at the birthday party. Like the reason why he just hangs back.
He's hiding
Turns
behind
out
the
he's-
tree.
Yeah, he's texting a baddie. You know, he's got a booty call to attend.
I guess.
He's just like
I
me
really
for
like
real.
the idea of Shadow getting to the end of Generations and them going, Shadow, why aren't you helping? And him just going, you have no idea what the fuck I've experienced.
Yeah, you don't
Well,
know what I've been through.
They
Like,
should
this
that they
I
could
was a
do like.
squid, I grew wings.
Well, that's actually something we haven't mentioned is because like this isn't on the weed either, but that hey there we go, a press release mentioned that there would be reworked cutscenes. It would be so funny if the only change to the final boss cutscene was that Shadow has bags under his eyes.
No,
He's
the
just,
only,
he's
having
just
a
like
tough
deflated. Yeah, it's just
the only difference is that he's on a stretcher.
yeah. God.
He just crawls in there,
Sonic,
just like
wait, Shadow, what happened? Squid
Well-
Games.
well, also,
Squid.
we know that Omochao has re-recorded lines, so it'd be so funny if Shadow's delivery of "You've got this, Sonic" was a bit less energized, like "You've got this, Sonic." Like just more
Sonic,
kind
please tell me you have this. I'm so
It's like-
tired.
It's like, or it's like a question, like you got this, Sonic?
Yeah.
Like, you got,
You
like,
got this.
You,
Probably
like, you
stepped
got
in, I
this.
didn't hear
It's
no
like,
bells.
I don't know. Like, I
Or
don't
he's
hear
just,
no
he's
bell.
just wrestling. He's just wrestling Black Doom while he says, like, "You've got this, Sonic. Don't ask."
What if he goes, Sonic, fucking help me?
Sonic.
That time
Like,
you-
Fucking help,
The Doom
please.
power has the better of him, and he's just like half symbiote, half shadow. He's like, "Sonic, kill me."
kill us, and then like you have to do it like plural, and like.
Oh my god, wait, what if it's really like, hey, Black Doom's possessing me, I need you to kill me. I'm the final boss now. Kill me.
The real time
like,
No, I
very-
can't kill
Shadow.
you, you're my friend!
No, I can't do that.
And then he just gives Shadow some weed, and then suddenly Black Doom disappears.
It would be kind of funny if they made Roger re-record all the lines, and now he's deep voice Sonic. So he's like, "Whoa, happy birthday
like,
to
hey.
me! This is great. I love
It would-
Green
oh
Hill."
my god! Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the Sonic Generations lines with the Sonic Forces voice direction would be so fun. Like, whoa, I beat this guy every time. It's almost like it's my job or
It's
something.
almost like it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
it's-
Sonic. I hope you like it. Like it?
And then
I
and then he
love
also
it.
voiced
I
classic
love
Sonic.
it. Why does it
I love
sound
it.
like sensual? I don't like this. Please don't
'Cause he
speak to me like
realized
that
how
ever
much he
again.
loves his friends.
It's like it's like enjoy your future. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, that's his kind of lick his lips after he says that.
Everything with the really understated
like-
delivery, just like
He's like touching his chin with his fingers and then biting his lip, like enjoy your future.
you
Then he
saved me,
turns-
Oh
Sonic.
my god.
I was afraid I would never be able
The
to
hornification
flirt with
I-
you again.
I
Oh,
don't
that's
want
great,
fuckboy
Amy.
Sonic.
But
I-
how are you feeling?
How are you
Yeah.
feeling, Amy?
I saved
How
you,
do you
but how are you feeling?
I do not want fuckboy
Okay, let's not
Sonic.
go any farther than that with that specific line. I think this
Yeah,
is enough.
yeah. I think yeah.
Charmy just like, I am the free bee. The free bee.
Like everyone
The
just has a
free
more
bee.
stilted. Yeah.
Free
Yeah,
bee.
everyone's a bit more understated.
Free.
Free.
All right. Should we go to the next part of the weed?
We need.
I
to
have
get,
brain damage, Sonic. The egg grapes got me.
Where's my wife,
What?
Sonic?
Where the
my wife?
where the fuck is my wife, Sonic? She got lost in the calamity, and she's somewhere in the white world. Help me, Sonic.
Not White World.
Okay, confirmed
Have-
zones.
Have-
So we
have
got some new looks at some zones in this trailer.
some
and,
zones.
There's been some confusion, but I have deduced that there are only 2 zones revealed in this trailer, aside from obviously the open zone and chemical plant. We've got Sunset Heights is returning, or at least the city.
No,
No?
no, sorry, I was talking to my cat.
Sebastian, what do you fucking
drink
mean?
my-
No.
My iced tea.
We got
Iced tea's not for cats.
we're seeing a bit more of the underground area of Sunset Heights at the very least. Kind of like the bit we saw at the beginning of Red Gate Bridge. And we are definitely seeing the egg porn models from egg porn models.
Pawn.
The egg
Pawn.
pawn models from Sonic Forces. And the other stage we've got, which has a lot of people thrown through a loop of confusion, which I don't quite understand. is Chaos Island. It's been reinterpreted into an action stage. And I don't know if you guys remember me saying this, but there was an episode of the podcast where I mentioned how cool would it be if Sonic Frontiers got rep and we saw an open zone converted into an action stage. Well, we're getting that with Chaos Island, so I'm so thrilled.
I think I like the idea. I think the reason why people are kerfuffled is because Shadow didn't touch Frontiers. So it's like, why is he going through this?
So okay, so it's places from Sonic's past. Okay, sure, but where does classic Sonic go in Sonic Generations?
What do you mean?
Future.
He goes to the future.
Okay, I don't really.
So Modern can go to his future as well. There's no reason. So
who's to say Shadow can't go to the future? It's a time travel story.
I guess I get what you mean. At the same time, though, I thought it was because, like, considering they're both supposed to be the same entity, classic and modern. I know that's not the case, or it probably still is. I don't know, but like considering that they were supposed to be the same entity, it's like,
which means that
classic Sonic's future was gonna be modern Sonic's present, anyways.
It means think about it, you big stoner. It means that Sonic goes to both the future and the past. The past and the future in Sonic Generations. Shadow does the same. Or maybe it's not even in his future. Maybe this is just something that was kind of going on, you know? I mean, there's a death extension there, but like,
I mean,
well,
I guess technically the Chaos Island's not like it didn't exist until the future. Like, it could have still just existed and Shadow could just...
No, it hadn't popped in yet.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair. But, like, I guess what I'm saying is that I'm also assuming that this is, like, still, like, I don't know, taking place in, like, the same timeline or the same time frame as the OG Sonic Generations.
It is, but the White World is a big gaping wound of time. Who's to say we can't go a little further?
Okay.
The idea is like they're redoing Generations, but with the knowledge we have now. So that's probably why Chaos Island is there.
Yeah, cool fair enough.
It was always existed. They just never went until Frontiers. So Shadow's been there.
How cool would it be if we actually got like some surprise Frontiers rep in Sonic Generations as well? There's no way. But how cool would it be?
No.
Well, they're not going to add more levels. There's no way.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, maybe they've got a surprise for us.
They can't get the grass right.
I don't think they're going to change the final boss. The final boss is garbage. I think they're going to just leave it.
Yeah.
Maybe the final boss is in cyberspace.
Ooh. Yeah, I think that's why people are confused, though, is because it's just like Shadow never went to... And I'm not saying it's impossible.
Maybe he did, and we never knew.
Yeah.
What if we're recontextualizing...
But that's the thing.
What if we're recontextualizing canon in that Sonic Generations now takes place after Sonic Frontiers?
Then there would have to be more levels for Sonic, and there won't be, so...
Yeah.
But what if...
You gotta get some Lost World rep. I'm just saying.
No one gives a fuck.
Fuck that.
I saw a post, which I'm assuming is a joke, where it was like, oh, they were going to include an infinite boss fight, but instead decided on Zavok. And I'm like, get out. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna throw up if I see Zavok in that game.
Don't do that to me.
The only way I'll rephrase that. The only reason I would accept Zavok in this game is if Shadow fights him and the fight lasts like 8 seconds and it's only a cutscene to have revenge for Chaos.
Well, maybe it would
That's all I need.
Maybe it would just be cool if they actually did something cool with Zavok. Like, he comes in, he's actually really cool. Like, what if he comes in, he's got a massive blunt in his hand, he's like, Shadow, I'm so fucking razzed right now.
Shadow,
I hate being here.
Shadow, it's the good kush. This is the dollar store. How good can it be?
Shadow, Master Zik has trained me to enjoy several puffs without getting any paranoia.
That old one does look high, not gonna lie. He's probably hit some.
They've all hit some. Why do you think Xena's green?
I think moving past that.
It's so stupid. I don't even want to laugh at it.
It's so dumb. And after this, I do have to get going, sadly. But
he's got a date. A date with someone who isn't me, so I feel fucking betrayed, frankly.
I got a date with Destiny.
I hope she fucking rips your dick off.
Whoa.
What the hell?
That's
I
what you
hope
get
she
for
kills
cheating
me.
on me, dude. So rude.
Hope she kills me. My shift's almost over, you know? Like,
Just fucking kill me, please.
just kill me, please. I paid for your dinner, now please kill me.
Transaction's been carried out. And
You meet her and she turns into like that Black Doom squid creature.
Even better. No, I'm kidding. But anyways,
It actually reminds me of, there was this comic where like the father is like, son, you must never lay hands on a woman. It's like in the future, there's a beautiful woman who's like, spank me, Kenny. And he's like, no. And then it removes the mask and it's his dad. And he's like, good boy, son. Like, imagine that with
what the fuck?
with Shadow and Black Doom. And Black Doom's like,
Shadow, you must never lay your hands upon a woman.
and then like, oh,
it's
God.
true. It's true.
And then
You should
Amy's
never
like,
do that.
spank me, Shadow. And he's like, no. And it's
He was-
Black Doom just like,
Good boy,
Yeah.
son.
Shadow was gonna push Maria out of the way of the bullet, but he's like, that would be violent. I can't.
Yeah, just like, she might fall.
She might fall. I might. Push her.
I
What
might
am I
catch a
gonna do?
case. I don't want to do
It's
that.
better
Yeah.
she get hurt by the bullet than get hurt by me, okay?
She gets
Yeah.
shot and she takes off
I
the mask.
don't know if that's true.
I don't
think
know.
that's true.
Good job,
I
Shadow.
forgot what I was gonna say before I leave, but I wanted to get something off my chest. I can't.
You've met
can't remember.
Zavok, Xena, Zik, Zor, fucking the other one. Now get ready to meet Zaza.
You know what? You know what? I came to the
Zaza.
realization. You know, I came to a realization that the Deadly Six are named exactly like those like Bible Belt families that have like 20 kids, and their first name starts with like a letter, the same letter, or it's like Jaden, Jalen, Joseph, Jerry. Like that's
Yeah,
the
let's go
Deadly
to
Six.
Adventure.
Jerry Seinfeld is the Deadly Six.
Jonathan.
No,
Jonathan.
the
Joseph,
the
Jotaro.
girlies who get it, you know. But
Oh, I
Yeah,
know
I don't
one
know
that
what
will
else.
be getting it tonight from you, Trey.
the Lord Jesus Christ. All
He will
right.
be taking the
I'm-
train
I'll write
headed
Trey
for
fanfiction for his
Sex
own date.
City.
I'm taking my Bible with me. That way it doesn't happen. Before I go, I wanted to say, I know y'all are probably going to talk about this in a little bit, but the limited run collector's edition is pretty cool. It cost a lot, and you're not
We
going to
can
get
write
it
that on
until
the
like a
board.
year and a half from now.
Yeah,
But
I'm not buying that.
I still want to, but like I bought like the Scott Pilgrim like kind of like collector's edition with the vinyl, and I didn't get that till like a year and a half later, and I was like, God, that sucked. It's like
Yeah, I'm too impatient, and I don't want to spend that money. So
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
it's
the thing is, like
not worth it.
$250 is insane for what you actually like insanely bad. Like for okay,
really,
so that
I thought it was a pretty good value. Like just the amount of like, think about it. Like if you bought the soundtrack, it'd probably be like 30-something bucks.
okay,
right?
who's
Right.
buying the
But-
soundtrack? You stream the soundtrack.
A lot of fucking people
I'm
will
buying
buy
the
that shit.
soundtrack.
Collectors
I
love
like-
that shit.
I like physical media, but considering it's a CD, it's more likely to be $20.
So but here's
so
the
20
thing: you want some little fucking shoe keychains? You just take a fucking Jack's Pacific Action
I'm just going
figure,
empty for that.
pull the shoe off, drill a little hole in it, and then put a keyring through it, and then boom, you got it. You want those little
You
Chow
got it.
figurines? Get the ones from fucking Walmart for like $3 each. You want the Sonic and Shadow Dreamcast statue? Buy a fucking Dreamcast and put an action figure of Sonic and Shadow on top of it, and it's cheaper, it plays games, and you can pose them.
There's a lot of collector's editions for this one because I remember seeing another one where it's like a Shadow statue with like the Shadow the Hedgehog logo in his hand as well. So
Yeah,
there's
that
like it's just like if you like Sega really has confidence in this game is what I'm trying to get at. Like they're offering up so much in the way of like not only like lore stuff with like the journal and whatnot, but also just like a ton of statues, like a good bit of like pretty nicely remixed songs. Some of the songs that are remixed, I'm not really the biggest fan of, to be fair, but like that's kind of subjective. Nothing sounds
I really
awful
want
bad.
a remix
but-
of Chaos Island's 7th move. That would be awesome.
I think it could happen. And I am excited to see where that stage kind of goes. It kind of looks a little bland in my opinion, but that might just be my association with it being like Chaos Island from Frontiers. Like it doesn't look as visually interesting as like Kingdom Valley. But
I
regardless,
think it looks good because we've now got Chaos Island without a load of floating shit in the sky. But also,
Just
Yes.
wait. I'm sure it'll be there.
oh, it would
It
be
hasn't popped in yet.
yeah.
shut up.
Sonic will be there with his mind to
I'm gonna-
generate them himself, because that was the lore explanation, right? Is that like
I'm,
Sonic imagines them? Yeah.
I'm gonna say straight up, I am still bummed out that I'm seeing 2D in this. Like, I understand that they've said,
Yeah.
oh, it's part of the Generations hallmark, but it's like 2D
doesn't
means
have to be.
nothing to Shadow. And if there's not a classic Shadow in there, don't give me the Generations hallmark thing. Like,
Yeah. I agree. Well, I sadly do have to get going. Just wanted to throw out my opinions about the collector's edition limited run thing. But this was fun. I'm gonna hopefully within the next month I'll be a lot more active. I've just been going like
On dates.
well, not on dates really.
So
I've been
many
going on
dates.
tour.
so many
I'm
different
going-
women whose heart have been broken by this man.
Oh my god, I'm dying right now. No, I've been going on weekend tours, like playing music out and stuff like that. It usually
Nice.
starts on Friday
That's awesome.
Friday night, so that means I have to prep during the whole day Friday, and I don't have time, But I am gonna make time for this in the future, so be sure to see a lot more of me and hopefully a better microphone. But I love all of y'all. Y'all have been amazing. And
Have
chat,
a great evening, man.
treat these fellas right, keep up in line.
Will do.
We'll
I
do.
understand the necessity for
Love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.
Alright,
Yeah,
love you,
well.
Trey. See you soon, dude.
Bye.
So, something kind of worth, I guess, kind of discussing is, Asima to here has said 2D gameplay in the boost games is fun though. Like, genuinely, what's wrong with it? And I'm not going to say there's anything objectively wrong with it, but personally, I would prefer to just have a fully 3D platformer now at this point. I don't understand why that's too much to ask. But the other thing that kind of upsets me a little bit, I guess, is kind of the principle of it, and it sounds silly, but around the time of Frontiers, Izuka talked a lot about how...
I guess Sonic Rivals doesn't exist to you. I wish that game didn't exist, Gunner.
Well, also, okay. Izuka, yeah, something that Izuka's made very clear, and it's something that's very much on Sonic Team's mission statement, is understanding that different audiences of different generations for Sonic have different expectations of Sonic, and that there are people that really do prefer 2D Sonic, and there are people that prefer 3D Sonic, so they want to make games that cater to both sides of that audience. And I think that's a great idea, but now I'm wondering, why are us 3D fans forced to put up with 2D while there's no 3D in Sonic Superstars or whatever? Okay, special stages
special
aside.
stages are 3D.
Yeah, but a special stage doesn't take up nearly as much of the main core gameplay as what 2D does for Sonic Colors or whatever. See, here's the thing. I do like 2D Sonic plenty. I am not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, I'll buy Sonic Frontiers, but patooey to Sonic Superstars. I do know people that are like that. There are some people I know that genuinely really don't enjoy 2D Sonic games and would rather just have a 3D one.
That's me for the most part. I enjoy 2D Sonic, but I like 3D platformers more. That's my favorite kind of game.
Yes, same. So I don't understand why it's too much to ask, and I don't understand the principle of, oh yeah, we'll make special games to cater to the 2D fans, but the 3D fans are just kind of stuck with 2D. I don't get it. I don't think there's as little crossover between the two either, but at the same time, I'm just like, if you're gonna do this business model of, we'll make 2D games to cater to the 2D audience and 3D games to cater to the 3D audience, then do that. Don't do this hybrid nonsense. I don't get it. But not only that, yeah, 2D might have meant something for Sonic generations, because classic Sonic and all, but for Shadow it means nothing. Shadow is a 3D Sonic era character. So I think if they went full 3D, it would work. Not to mention, it's not like it doesn't work. We do have one fully 3D Sonic game. We've only had one fully 3D Sonic game since, I think, Sonic Unleashed, or Sonic and the Black Knight, maybe, and that is Sonic Dream Team, which is an excellent game.
Yeah, it's all 3D. All very good.
Also, yeah, you mentioned, what about the 2D gameplay in boost games is classic-like? Well, that's the thing, is I don't really see much merit in 2D Sonic gameplay if it isn't going to be like the classics. Unless it's like Rush, but then that's Rush. Have the tricking system and stuff, and not to mention Rush was that way because it was bound to the DS. I'm sure they probably would have made it 3D if they, could. But yeah, personally, I don't like the crossover between the two. I like 2D Sonic, I like 3D Sonic. I'm kind of done with this crossover thing. It was kind of cool in Unleashed when we weren't getting 2D games, unless it was for a handheld, but for now, I'm just kind of like, can I please just see a fully 3D Sonic game again?
Yeah, and then also just like as far as like you're kind of talking about like the legacy aspect and the just kind of like the vibe of it. Also obviously with 3D, it kind of creates a consistency of the whole level has 3D and you know what to expect. There's like kind of like a flow state you can get in with that, which feels really satisfying. Whereas if it's kind of like switching back and forth, it's just a different game vibe. So not only is it just like, an aesthetic thing, but no, it changes kind of the feel of the levels. So
Yeah.
so yeah, no. I wouldn't be
also,
I think like a good middle ground would be like, um, maybe have, all the main stages for Shadow, have those be 3D. But if you need to like, as a game developer, pepper in some short, because we actually know that the little extra levels are going to be there, like in Sonic Generations, where there's like 5 extra gates where you can do like a little mini level.
yeah,
If that's going to be the case, I think that would be fine to throw in a 2D one here or there.
I could agree
But as
with
far
that.
as like the main event, keep that 3D because again, that's a different, unique feeling. So
yeah. Alternatively, I think like Super Mario Odyssey handled like 2D integration quite well in that it was very short and it was usually optional. And the only time it wasn't was because it was doing a throwback to Donkey Kong. And even then, I to be honest, I'm kind of done with
it's not really optional in the final area either. I mean, technically you can use Bowser to skip the 2D section, but it's like really... Actually, I don't know if you can skip it entirely at all.
But I think Super Mario Odyssey also
stupid.
did it very tastefully in that they didn't just bring back 2D for the sake of, oh, look, it's 2D, remember the classics. It literally turned him into a sprite that was on the wall, printed on there, and that was so inventive compared to kind of what Sonic does.
As usual, if it's really good, that kind of outweighs anything.
Even then, though, I will say, I don't think there's much objectively wrong with modern Sonic going into 2D. I just personally would like a 3D Sonic game again,
Well,
and
especially... I'm gonna say I agree with everything you guys have been saying, but I just need to say this before I forget. I think if they do want to do 2D stuff and they want modern Sonic involved, just make another fucking Rush game.
Oh, dude, please. Definitely. I would buy the shit out of it.
Just do that.
But I'm gonna say
don't
this. I am
putting it in the main games. Like, I don't need it to be there.
Controversially, I'm one of the people that does not consider colors to be Rush 3. So I'm saying, don't just bring back 2D modern Sonic, but give me the music style again. Give me that style. Give me the style that came with the Rush games. They just felt different.
Yeah, I agree. On to the next weed.
Hang on, I'm eating something real quick. Hang on. Else take the lead. I'm eating.
Oh,
I don't have anything else to say right now.
Let's see. Next up is we talked about the collector's edition. This is just a really brief one. It probably doesn't require much discussion. The sliders are back, but only for deceleration. Which
Ian,
I
you're
think
so great. You're just great. Okay.
No, I think the deceleration.
I genuinely think you are great for taking control.
No problem. No, the deceleration being back, that was the big thing that I actually really loved about Frontiers. And I agree with like the discussion people have had about like, sure, it's great that we can like make Sonic how we want him to feel. But what if you just made him good on your own, and then by doing that, it's not even just like maybe if you were just good developers, but like genuinely, if you make one consistent style, then you can build levels around that. Whereas if you can build for anyone's style, then you kind of have to make the platforming more broad so that people don't break it in half. Or I guess, one of the things Frontiers did do that was kind of fun sometimes is that sometimes they wouldn't account for that and you could break it in half, and that was kind of part of the fun. But by having a specific moveset, you are making sure that you have to design around it. And so I think that just removing the deceleration just for like just little things, I think that is good. And then everything else is just what they designed for Shadow. So I think that's
basically
good.
In kind of simpler terms, the acceleration thing, if it's like it was in Frontiers, deceleration basically meant auto brake. So whether or not you'd, slow down immediately as soon as, you let go of the analog stick, or whether or not he would continue on a little bit. Now, the thing is, this was a little balked in Sonic Frontiers because his deacceleration was in no way influenced by the speed he was already going. So even if you were just walking along, it would take Sonic a second to stop, because that's just how they'd programmed it. Forked. I'm hoping that won't be the same here, and it is literally just auto brake dependent on speed. But I will say this: to see just one slider here is kind of promising, and it kind of feels more like a difficulty slider. You know, how slippery Shadow is, basically. You could have called it torque, I guess. But yeah, it's quite promising to see that for the most part they have abandoned the sliders.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
Good. I'm thinking that I don't really know what the sliders did anyway, because I don't know what any of the words mean, so I just kind of didn't pay attention to that.
In this instance, it was just auto brake.
Yeah, see, like, I kind of didn't bother. The only thing I changed was the keep acceleration while jumping.
Oh yeah, that's like the most important one. I always, my setup on Frontiers was to give me the most gradual speed. So I put top speed to highest, but things like bottom speed, starting speed, and stuff like that, I put it way down the bottom, so that you had the biggest gulf between top and bottom speed. Because it's kind of more momentum-y, you know?
Actually, you know what? I think I did change those speeds a little bit, because I noticed when I hit the boost button, I would go so stupid fast, and then as soon as I stopped boosting, it just didn't feel good anymore. So I had to, like, adjust those.
I also
so
put, like, the
better.
acceleration way down low on the boost, so that when you boost, you don't go immediately to top speed. You just kind of gradually start boosting. And I just kind of like, it's the closest thing to more of a momentum.
You wonder how Dimps is doing? Well, they've been making Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 DLC for like 12 years now. And I think they make most of the Dragon Ball games. Do they make Kakarot? Let's see. DBZ Kakarot was made by... not Dimps, okay. But they made a lot of Dragon Ball stuff over the years.
So, okay, one last thing I want to talk about pertaining to Sonic X Shadow Generations. It's the last thing we got on the... before I guess we can kind of move on to Super Chats. So, Start HHK over on Twitter has played the game at Gamescom. Both a bit of the Sonic and Shadow Generations side of things, and they've got some shit to tell us. We've got a thread here. We got a thread here. We've got a thread here.
Right.
Can't talk today.
We've got Fred.
Okay. So, should we begin?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's go.
Okay, so both classic and modern Sonic have the drop dash, but classic Sonic spin dash is still a lot more powerful than the drop dash. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, I saw a really unfortunate clip of that where they do the drop dash to go through one of the loops in Green Hill, and then the drop dash is not strong enough to actually carry them through the loop, so they just fall back down.
I don't actually mind this. Like, I don't know. Like, it depends how it feels in hand, but I don't mind the idea that a drop dash can't get me around those loops, because the loops in Generations are much bigger than the ones that you'd see in, say, Mania or Superstars. It just depends how good it is at complementing my flow state. But, like, Generations' spin dash is ridiculously overpowered, so it is kind of sad to see that we don't have a balanced spin dash alternative, you know? It's either wimpy little drop dash or hefty big spin dash, you know?
You're right. Yeah.
For Modern, though, they've made quite a baffling decision. So for Modern, it requires you to jump and air dash first before being able to use the drop dash. And what I find baffling about this is that they've already moved the air dash over to the square or X button, depending on what you're playing on. So why can't the drop dash just be on the jump button if you've already remapped the homing attack and air dash?
It's also weird that you have to do the homing attack first, because at that point it just feels like Modern doesn't really need that. Okay.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like I'm not even gonna use the drop dash at that rate.
I'm gonna use it just for the sake of playing it in a new way. Like, having a new move there means it can be played differently. But the thing about this is, if you do the air dash in Generations kills all of your forward momentum when you use it. Like, you sacrifice that. One of the big departures from Colors and Unleashed. So it kind of defeats the object if you have to kill your forward momentum in order to use the drop dash. At which point as well, boost is instantaneous speed as well, with just as much convenience as the drop dash. So it does kind of feel a bit pointless for Modern Sonic, but I will probably play around with it just for the sake of getting a different experience out of it. I might even be surprised though, because like I remember wondering how much the spin dash would change the Frontiers experience when you've already got the boost. And holy fuck, did it change it a lot. I don't think this is going to do the same thing, but see.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess I'm kind of just excited to have a new.
I mean, I guess it'll only really matter if like speedrunners can figure out a way to use it, because like part of the fun of Generations levels is you really can just become a speedrunner for them. So if speedrunners can actually find a use for this thing, then I'll definitely try it. But if it's just like, oh, like I don't know, it's like, to me, like whenever you play classic Sonic in Generations, I never rev up the spin dash, because why would you ever do that? Like when you can just boost off, you know? And I'm kind of wondering if it'll be like that, or it's like, why would I ever use the drop dash when the normal instant spin dash is just way more useful, you know?
Well, see, something I sometimes do is sometimes I take the scenic route. Like, there's been times when I've played Sonic Generations while avoiding boosting as much as I can. I kind of like it that way. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a good-looking fanboy. But okay. Next up, there's 3 Chow that can be collected in between both of the green. Which is, that's fine. Nothing new there. Nothing unexpected, I mean. But yeah, the Chow collection is in there. We've seen a bit of video of collecting a Chow as well and the noise it makes. And that Chow follows you throughout the rest of the level. So I'm guessing that it's like... I'm surely guessing that they'll have different Chow from zone to zone and not just the same 5. But, as I say, we'll see. But here's an interesting bit of news, that Sonic Generations has an option for challenge tries, which basically toggles the life system on and off. So rather than doing the Sonic Colors Ultimate thing of saying like, you have to play it without the life system now, Sonic Generations at least gives you the option. So that's
yes,
cool.
Thank goodness. Yes. Well, because here's the thing with lives. The reason lives matter is, like, it doesn't matter if, like, for you, like, oh, I'm never going to get a game over. I know how to play these games. Yes, but regardless, that option is still there. Even if it's never going to happen to you, there is a feeling, like a good feeling you feel of like, yeah, I've got 99 lives, dude. This game's never going to kill me. I've got it. You know, that is an extra feeling that you get from having lives, even if they're not going to be that, you know, worth much in Generations. And for new players, if you play Generations or like you're coming back to it for the first time, you will have to rebuild those lives, and you might only have 3, or, you know, maybe a level's going to get you because you're trying to be really sneaky. So that gives extra stakes. Just having the lives in general, like, I understand why over time they've been removed from, you know, different franchises and stuff, but Sonic games really are about having a little bit of that stakes to it. I think obviously the older games are, you know, go way too far in the other direction, which made sense for the time. But like, you know, I shouldn't have to restart the entire game if I get a game over. Like, that's ridiculous. But just being forced to like have to redo the level or redo, like, you know, Act 1 and 2. Like, I think that's why lives have value. So being able to have that back in Generations, I'm very happy for. Even if, again, I'm never going to get a game over on this game, it feels good to, 1, have those sense of stakes if I start screwing up, and 2, just to be like, hey, I have a bunch of lives, I'm fucking awesome. So, you know, that's why I'm really glad we're here.
It also depends on the challenge curve, I think, because like if Sonic Superstars had a live system, I'd probably get that game refunded.
And I already wanted that game refunded because I didn't like it. So,
like, imagine you get to like the final boss of that game and you actually could get a game over. That would be the nightmare.
For sure. Yeah. But for something like Generations, which already had it, there's just no reason to remove it, you know?
Dylan, were you about to say something? Dylan? Oh, he's muted. Okay. All right. I guess we'll move on to the next.
I didn't know I was muted. I don't like life systems. I think they're old, and I don't want to redo shit if I've already done it.
Fair.
And I guess I just have the opposite opinion on that. Like, I don't mind them leaving it there, but I'm glad there's an option to not have it, even if I'm not dying. Like, I just kind of don't like the pressure of, like, oh, I'm going to lose my checkpoint, or, oh, I have to redo this section I already mastered. Like, if I want to replay the levels, I'll replay them because I want to replay them. I don't want to replay it because the game told me I had to.
Well, I'm very glad.
I do agree with Dylan, but I think making it an option is the best thing to do.
The option is the best thing to do. Yeah.
But yeah,
I have nothing against people who don't want to have them. I just want to have the option so I can have them, you know?
Same deal, and I don't see it as, like, as long as it's optional, I don't care. But, like, I can give you a specific example. This is the example I always use. Back in Mega Man Mega Man Z01 on the GBA, there was this thing where if you got a game over while playing a mission, they would just like cancel the mission. You couldn't do it anymore. Like the story would progress. And it's like, what kind of a punishment is that? For me having to like restart the entire game now to finish that? Like that's stupid, first of all. So then when they re-release the games, they have this thing where instead of relying on lives, they just have a checkpoint system where if you die in the boss fight, you respawn outside and you can keep trying because Mega Man's about trial and error. Like, just let me have the trial and error and I'll be fine. But if you restrict me and make me play the whole level over and over, then I'm going to start hating it.
I remember there was a time I was live streaming Sonic 06 and I got a game over at Kingdom Valley and it took me back to the Trials of Soleanna.
Oh, you got to do the trials.
Yeah, and at that point, I put the game down, and I have not resumed that live stream since.
Oh yeah, 06 is horrendous for that.
No blame.
However, on a different note, though, when I play Project 06, I love having the lives because like I know that the game is actually like really quick and fast, and like I can rack up lives and I can look really cool. Like just the value of geting 100 rings and getting a life feels good.
Yeah, how much am I asking to be redoing?
Like, go.
I think I remember when I was a kid, game overing in Eggman Land was a source of a lot of frustration.
I think the whole world's on your side about that.
Yes.
But, yeah, I feel like it's case by case. If a game has, like, if it's a Sonic game that has levels that last around about 2 minutes or whatever, tops, fair enough, I guess. But if levels can get up to, like, 10 minutes or so, I don't think it's very fair. Like, I personally don't mind a challenge. I just hate repetition. Like, involuntary repetition.
Yes, exactly. That's how I would phrase it exactly.
It's why Sonic Superstars' final boss is fucking atrocious. And if you watch my video on the ranking of all of the Sonic final boss fights, ignore that. Ignore my placement of that boss. No, fuck that boss. Fuck it to death.
I have to say, I'm very glad that Superstars didn't force you to have the lives thing, and even without it, like I was just saying, the trial and error thing with that boss, not so much the first final boss. Like, the first final boss took me a handful of tries, but then, like, the Fang one, I must have tried that for, like, 2-3 hours to try and beat it, and then after a while, I was like, I don't care that I don't have a life system. I don't care that I don't have to replay these levels. I just don't want to do this anymore.
Well, it's probably
like, it just doesn't feel worth it.
I think even the first final boss is egregious. Because, like, it's not just that it's tough. The first final boss is actually quite easy if you just take your time. If you just wait your turn, wait for when it's safe to attack. It's actually perfectly easy. The problem with that first final boss is that it is so fucking long. It is so boring. Yeah. And if you get to, like, the second phase, and then die, and you have to do all of that again, it's like, no, bitch, you should just make like a Lego game and just put me back to the last hit point, because
make like a Lego game and sell poorly and die off.
Well, either way, like, just
more modern ones. I mean,
have that kind of life system, because, like, fuck me, that boss fight sucks, and it's also just how long he takes between attacks. He stands there for fucking 20 seconds doing nothing between attacks. Unacceptable. How the fuck fuck you, Arzest. Anyways,
oh yeah, I mean, I think that game probably would have had lives, and then they realized, oh hey, these bosses take 1,000,000 years, and mercifully remove them.
It'll be awful. Yeah.
I don't know though, because it seems to be an agenda now with Sonic games ever since since Forces, just not to have live systems.
Forces did not have lives. Yeah.
It was also partially down to Lost World, because I remember Lost World when it first released didn't give you lives when you collected 50 rings.
Lost World had an ass load of lives in it.
And there was a pre-order bonus of additional lives, which people thought was fucking stupid until they actually played the game.
It's because they knew they didn't have anything to offer in Lost World, so they had to push that.
It's that, and the fact that you actually kind of do need those, because Lost World can get very frustrating at times.
Well, you can't collect 100 and get a life, right?
Yeah, you can't.
Now you can.
I think pre-patch you could.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Yeah, before you couldn't.
Well, again, that's why lives actually had value, or because it was a reward for you getting 100 rings. Because if there's no reward for getting rings, then why shouldn't I just get 2 rings and just play the game like that? why would I ever go out? Like, that's why it's really fun, actually, when you replay Sonic 1. I like exploring the level because I can collect rings and get like 300 at the end of stage 1 and be like, all right, I've got 6 lives. I can carry this, all the way through to a bunch of other levels and get more rings,
It's kind of where Frontiers got kind of smart in that they made it so that, like, if you maxed out your rings, you get a power boost.
Yeah, you like that. If they were like genuinely, if they replaced getting 100 rings with some reward, I'd probably be okay with lives being deleted because that really is like the biggest thing that's hurt is like why are all these rings here? They're literally worthless. You
get 100 rings and then you can see your favorite Sonic character naked.
No,
say
okay.
what?
The coin
like
system in Origins was actually kind of smart. Like, but then once you've spent all your coins, you've got nothing to do with them. But
Or go the Mario. I mean, this is something that I just don't understand why every single game that ever has a legacy doesn't do. Just do the Mario Odyssey thing where I can buy 1 billion different costumes. That should not be hard. You know?
Yes,
So,
yes.
like
It was
if
my justification for the big fishing being optional in a Sonic Adventure remake is that every fish you catch, you get it as a onesie that you could fucking wear.
Yeah, no, genuinely, like if you played Sonic, or if I could play Sonic Superstars and it doesn't have lives, but every time I get 100 rings, I get like a new costume. I will do that for eternity. And then like by the time I collect all the costumes, I won't be mad that I can't use the rings for anything anymore because I earned all my costumes.
I just had such a weird brain blast that's so linked up with this exact thing you're saying. There's you guys play Crash Bandicoot 4, like the newer one?
Oh nah, dude, I haven't.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. So the new Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is a game that I like a lot, but 100% completion and a lot of the collectibles are super oversaturated. So, like, for instance, to get a gem for completing the level, you have to collect every single box, collect a ton of Wumpa Fruit, which is basically the rings, but they don't protect you. So there's, like, plenty of them. And then, there's some hidden gems. But when you collect gems, you get costumes. And this game is so overstuffed with shit that I really didn't end up unlocking most of the costumes because getting these gems and finding all the crates in each level was really, really frustrating, which is weird because usually it's just difficult, but in this case it was just hard and stupid. So someone made a mod for that game I think it's called Crash 4 Enhanced, and they changed it. I don't know how they did this. They changed it so that when you collect almost all of the Wumpa Fruit, that's when you unlock a costume. And I can't tell you how many more times I've gone back to the game and been really excited because that's a fun aspect for me. It's like, it's not ridiculous anymore. It is like manageable, which I really like, and it makes me want to play the game again. So like, I agree with you. I think costumes are a very good incentive without having to like change too much stuff.
Yeah, actually,
I agree.
Actually, I remembered the game that I think does this the best, which is A Hat in Time. In A Hat in Time, there are over 100 customization options for your character. And like a lot of these didn't exist in the original version, but then they had DLC levels. And for the final DLC level, they integrated like over 50 different costumes into the thing. So now you're sitting in this game, you have like 900 like pawns or whatever they're called, and you can't use them for too many things by the end of the game. So you then go to this level and every single like person you talk to is like a vendor, and they're selling you these awesome different color palettes. You have like flames, you can be like a wireframe, just so many like different, and you can get different pants, different hats, different badges for your clothes or whatever. And so like that game, now I had incentive to you like the thousands and thousands of like useless pawns that I had found around the environment. Just do that every game ever, please. Like people underestimate the value of putting my male character in a cool outfit and my female character in a cute outfit. Like it's worth it. Just give me the option. I will do it.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land also sort of does that a little bit because like you collect stars throughout the whole game and there's so many. And then by the time you get to the hub world again, like after you complete a few levels, there are these, and I know this is not the best example, but it's something to use the stuff for if you're actually collecting it.
Yeah,
there's like gacha machines where you can just collect figures of Kirby characters, and it's so cute. Like it's such a fun little bonus, and like I collected all.
They have like little descriptions too, I think.
Yeah, it's basically like trophies in Smash Bros.
Oh yeah, also in Hat in Time, there were remixes you could find. So like you could go through the levels and find like different versions of the songs, and then like once you found that, you could go back and put it in, and now you have different things. So just like please, every Sonic game ever, you have a million different like things you can use. If you want to get crazy, you can use stuff from comics. Ooh, but yeah, you have different versions of Sonic and different outfits and just fun ideas. You can just put them in a Santa costume or whatever, which they did. Do that more, please. That's my point.
I am in complete and utter full agreement. But
I agree.
Let's see what other collabs we can get. Say you love a collab. Do one with Marvel and get Spider Sonic to actually be a thing. Like, you know your fans want it. You know we want it.
Would Marvel play ball with that?
Sure they would. Sure.
Enough
money, I'm sure.
We'll see.
Yeah, Spider-Man skin for Sonic would be like everyone knows that every Sonic fan is a Spider-Man fan except for like everybody knows that. So yeah, come on. Anyway, moving along. So next up on the start thing, there's a red ring tracker now. So if you collect a red star ring, a graphic pops up on the HUD showing which ones you've collected so far. And yeah, so now rather than just being like, I don't know which one I just got, you kind of know where to search for the next one.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, I agree. Nice,
I think they only showed it on the overworld previously. Like you could see it next to the stage title.
I think that's
and they would
correct,
show you which ones you collected, but you would have to be outside of the stage to see that.
Yeah, which was a bit wanky. But now they've fixed that up. Okay, so on to the next one. Defeating enemies as Shadow doesn't charge his boost gauge. Instead, it charges his chaos control gauge.
Chaos control specifically, or just chaos powers?
Boost? Is it rings?
Well, it says his chaos gauge, but I think the chaos gauge refers to like chaos control in terms of like slowing down time. But I don't know. Maybe that could be a toggle thing. I'm guessing that the powers, the Doom powers, are going to be gotten from item capsules and then activated with a button press, just like the Wisps. But I might be wrong about that. Maybe you can switch up which chaos power you're going to use.
I would much prefer to be able to like go back through a level and have every single one of them at my disposal and like use them at different points. But you know,
I think it's going to be more like the Wisps, like especially like where you have like the empty boxes in the early part of the game before you've unlocked them. So Chaos Control can also reveal hidden ring lines that you can light dash into. So that's cool. It can reveal hidden paths. Chaos Spear can be locked
sounds like the Superstars thing. Sounds like the reveal thing. Remember the reveal power from Superstars?
Yeah, except that one was kind of useless because it was just the one thing.
Yeah, it would just be platforms that you could cheese levels with.
I was gonna say the really cool thing for it would be like you'd be running and doing a chaos control thing, and then you like look to the right and go, "Wait, is that a path that? Oh, it takes me up here." Like, hopefully that's what they do it.
Yeah. Chaos Spear can be locked onto 5 targets when the action button is held, which makes me confused as to what the Doom Spear does. Because in the trailer it said target 5 enemies at once.
I think they're calling the Doom Spear the Chaos Spear because it's basically the same.
But I don't think you unlock any of the Doom abilities on the demo though, so that would be surprising if that's the case. And then
you must start with that one.
And then 3 collection keys are hidden in the act. Don't know what that is. But yeah, there's 3 collection keys hidden in Shadow's act. PS5 controller gives nice feedback during impactful scenes, which is cool if that's the case, because like Sonic Frontiers had absolutely nothing to do with the haptic feedback or the adaptive triggers on the PS5 controller. So if they're actually incorporating some elements of the PS5 controller, that will probably be a good little incentive to try out the PS5 version. I'm a little undecided. I tend to think, I'll get the PC version because mods and stuff, and naturally I will get that. But I don't know how well it will perform on my laptop. It should perform fine, I'd imagine. Frontiers runs perfectly. But this game does look quite a bit better than Frontiers, so I don't... yeah. I don't know if you guys have PS5s, but yeah.
No, nothing too much.
I was thinking about that collection keys thing. The only other keys I can think of are the ones that the boss keys you get for beaten zones in the regular generations. So maybe you have to find the boss key levels this time.
And then
which means maybe there's no missions. There's no missions, maybe.
I'm gonna just drop this in the back rooms, but there's something I find really funny here. It's just the wording at the end of the demo. Once you beat the demo, it just says... Well, I'll let you guys see for yourselves first.
Just thank you, right?
But yeah, but it's just the way it words it is just really funny to me.
Let's see. Oh.
Just imagine Shadow just be like, thank you for playing, pre-order now.
Pre-order now.
He's telling you, pre-order it. It reminds me of those older commercials
Immediate.
for the Toy Story 1 video game, where it's just a picture of Woody yelling and pointing, and it just says, play the game in all caps.
There's, in the show anime I've seen, Bocchi the Rock, at the end of every episode, usually there's like, it's like a preview. But at the end of at the end of the episodes for that show, it just goes, watch it.
It's just demanding, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So yeah, that's the last thing we've got on the weed. Still no Sonic 3 trailer, if you're expecting that anytime soon. So, waiting on that.
Well, I saw a rumor that it might be releasing on Tuesday.
It's bound to be any time now.
With 4 months left? Crazy. That's going to be wonderful marketing.
I mean, to be honest, this isn't out of the ordinary for an established film franchise at this point. This
Sonic fans are just impatient.
I don't blame them for being a bit frustrated, because when we got that title treatment thing, it did look like news was going to come flooding in when it just kind of quickly stopped. But I think at the end of the day...
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Sonic 2 have way more of a marketing timeline of, like, we got, like, multiple trailers, like, spread out? Or, like, am I wrong? Was it around 4 months?
It was about 5 months ahead of the film's release. You got your first proper trailer for it.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering, because I was like, I think it makes sense
behind.
if people are a little worried, because it's like, well, why? Why is it less than the second movie?
I'm gonna backpedal as well a little bit, because they also did show like at least a teaser at Comic-Con, and then they were like, the rest of you don't get to see that, and it's like, that seems stupid. Like, why not just release
it was a sizzle reel, so it's not in any kind of trailer context.
Also,
I would like to see it, but sizzle reels don't
If
typically.
they saw it, I feel like they could just show it to everybody. Like, if they showed it to them, then what's the problem? Like, did they show something super important they can't reveal? Because let's look at it. Shadow's design has been leaked already, like multiple times.
Buy toys of it in stores.
Also, guys,
you can buy toys of it.
Just
So who cares at this point, right?
The actual timeline here is we got our first teaser trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 at the Game Awards 2021, which was on the 10th of December 2021. The film would release on the 30th of March 2022. So that was about a 3-month or so window.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, maybe this is normal.
Even then, as well as that, like, it's an established franchise at this point, so the more established the franchise is, the less you really need to promote that, because, like, the other 2 movies are already effectively promoting it. Not to mention, the more you bellyache about the trailer, the less need there is for a trailer, because your word of mouth is gonna tell people about it anyway. But they did a similar thing with Spider-Man No Way Home, where we didn't even get our trailer for that until, I think, like, October? And the film came out in December. But
okay.
Yeah, I understand Spider-Man's a bit bigger than Sonic, but nothing to worry about. And hey, maybe if it flops, we'll actually get a fucking reboot. Anyways, I say that like I hate the movie. I love the movies.
They're not gonna fucking reboot it.
I love the movies. I just really
if it's
would
working so
rather
well, they're not gonna reboot.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If it flops, you fucking silly boy.
It's not gonna flop. Jim Carrey's in the movie.
Yeah, it'll be fine. At least as far as that's concerned.
But what if they forget to release a trailer and then they just release the film and it flops, and then we get a reboot and it's fully animated and it's got
releasing on the same day as the Lion King sequel thing, so like that could actually be bad news for that movie.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say, I thought you were
probably change that.
What if they forget to put Jim Carrey in the movie?
Actually, no. I think I
feel like
there's
there's gonna be a lot of Jim Carrey.
They moved the release date back by a few days.
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna move the release date.
Also, no, they've already moved it back a few days. But also, I don't want to wait that long for it, man. Like, I'd rather.
Dude, if they release it on the same day as a Disney Lion King movie, that movie's gonna make $8.
I don't give a fuck as long as I can see the movie. I don't give a fuck how much it makes.
The sequel to the most animated film ever.
Why is it a bad choice? I'm not getting the money from it, am I? I don't care how much it makes.
You are basically dooming the work of like a lot of people by doing that. but the company is doing it right now by keeping it in the same day as Lion King. Because, like, I know Lion King is not going to be, like, good, but people are going to freak the fuck out about it.
Yeah, because it's Lion King.
Like, wow, Disney!
Yeah, because it's Lion King. So, that's it. That's all you need.
So, like, even if it's, like, the boring live-action weird shit, like, it's
as long
gonna
as
do
they got
really well.
it doesn't matter.
The movie if it's on the same day or within the
all
same
I'm
days.
All I'm saying is, I love the Sonic movies we currently have enough, but if they announced a fully animated reboot with all the characters in it, I don't think I would shed any tears.
They won't.
Yeah, Pup, if what you're suggesting is, what if we end up in a timeline where the Sonic movies fail, and going forward, we get a bunch of animated movies? I would love to live in that timeline. Fuck the movies.
Dude, but I feel like if it fails, they're gonna cut it cold turkey and not do anything else.
Oh yeah, there's no way we get a 2D movie.
I don't know, man. They did it with the Ninja Turtles. They did it with the Smurfs, you know, and I'd say they're less lucrative than Sonic. Well, not Ninja Turtles.
I don't think that's true. I think they're
the Smurfs are like have been around longer than like all of us have been alive.
Yeah, the Smurfs gives it like how many Smurfs fans do you see?
Old people compared to Smurfs.
Oh, great, old people! What a demographic.
I know, but that's the thing. That's why Sonic does well, because obviously all of us like it a lot. But if they release it on the same day as The Lion King, I really don't see a bunch of random kids saying, I want to see Sonic over I want to see The Lion King.
Well, also think about the parents.
There are going to be some. There are going to be some.
King. Yeah, and they're like, let's take my kids to see The Lion King sequel, you know?
Okay, if
and
you
parents are going to prefer Lion King as well, because they know what it is. They understand it.
I mean, parents know what Sonic is.
Yeah, they're going to be like...
That's the problem I have with it.
No, but to be honest,
see baby Simba.
Parents don't give a shit about Sonic, dude.
That is objectively wrong. No, 90% of everyone's parents grew up with Sonic.
No, I think you are incorrect, because I don't think I think there are some parents who will know what Sonic characters are. But if you show so many people Shadow the Hedgehog over the Lion King, they're going to think, oh, is that Sonic? And then they're going to go see the
Lion King, maybe, but you are underestimating Sonic. Like, everybody knows who Sonic is.
No, I'm not.
You're underestimating
Sonic,
that.
listen,
Everybody.
Pup, I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself because... No. Listen. My reasoning here is Sonic is making a comeback now. He's got concerts, he's got movies, he's got some good games, but we're at the beginning of the comeback. For the longest time, Sonic has been a fucking joke, and I think that is going to be the biggest thing to overcome.
A joke right to now, people who use
more people are absolutely going to go see The Lion King if it's on the same day, because there's never... Okay, not true. The Lion King is going to be more of a cultural thing. Like, people are going to go see that because it's The Lion King.
I don't deny that The Lion King is probably more popular, but all I'm saying is, don't underestimate how many parents know what Sonic is. Like, everybody knows what Sonic is.
We've been overestimating Sonic for our entire lives. We had to, because if we don't overestimate Sonic, then we fade into obscurity. That's the only reason Sonic's still alive, because we have overrated them.
That is not the case. The reason Sonic is still alive is because his design is incredibly merchandisable.
Oh, he's blue. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a good design. Don't underestimate his design. It's a great design.
I'm not underestimating the design, but I'm saying that is not enough to carry it. It's not enough now. Not in a world where 7-second videos dominate the market.
I don't know, man. I think you're underestimating Sonic.
I think design... No, I think a completely 100% correct here. I think that, like, Sonic fans frequently will say stuff like, Sonic is one of the most important things that's ever happened, and it's true for them. But I think a vast majority of the world, if Sonic disappeared, no one would give a shit.
No one would care, yeah.
I think it would be gone and people would forget about it.
I could not disagree more. Like...
I'm not saying the fans, Pup. The fans would remember.
I'm not talking about the fans. I'm saying that generally broad appeal.
People know Sonic, but if you show them anything else, they don't know anything. They will recognize Sonic, but they will go, "Oh yeah, he's that video game." It's nothing past that.
I'm not saying it compares to The Lion King. I'm just saying Sonic is a household name.
I'm saying you are wrong. I think. I don't think so.
All right, well, everyone in the audience is taking Dylan's side right now, just so you know, Game Apologist agrees with me.
Right. I don't care what Game Apologist thinks, he's wrong too. But, like, so basically, what happens here is, back when video games, and, like, let's say back in the days of the GBA, the Nintendo DS, I can totally see Sonic being a handheld, I can totally see it being a household name. because those games were coming out and it was the big thing. But nowadays, the things that kids see as soon as they're born is Skibbity Toilet and iPads. So, like, sure, they can play Sonic 1, 2, CD, they can play Sonic Speed Battle on their iPads, but I bet you more of them are playing fucking Candy Crush.
While
Like,
watching.
that's why there's, that's why Candy Crush is referenced in
So
everything.
the parents know Sonic.
What does that mean? What do you mean? Like they're
well,
if they were
one of
Sonic
the things
fan
I was saying
parents,
is
they probably show the characters. They probably know that.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the things that I was saying was like I don't think we should pretend that parents don't know who Sonic is.
I would say some parents do, but I'm willing to bet it's people who grew up with it, and like the vast majority of like normal people probably don't.
I think Sonic has been a household name since way before these movies, and he's been a.
I know, but then he flubbed it, and he fucked up.
No,
and
but that's the thing. Is only the fans care about his flub. The majority of people.
I don't know, because the whole internet was on the same page. Even the Sonic Twitter and
the whole
everything
internet.
were on the
I'm
same
not
page
talking about the whole
we're a
internet.
joke.
I'm talking about the real world, not the whole
Pup,
internet.
that is the real world now. Don't
No.
you get it? Like, the internet is such a widespread thing that is what matters.
I completely disagree. Like, Sonic...
You are a YouTuber, Pup. The internet is the most important thing in your life.
Yeah, but I'm able to look outside of it. I don't think Sonic is niche.
I know, but people don't.
There's nothing niche about Sonic.
If it continues to go as it is, if it keeps going...
He's the Bugs
it's
Bunny
going to be,
of gaming.
It's going to get there. But right now, Sonic is not like Mario anymore. People will recognize him, but they're not going to be like, oh yeah, Sonic, those video games that I loved so much. They're going to be like, that's Sonic, right?
All right, so while kids are growing up with Skibbity Toilet and shit, they still know who fucking Bugs Bunny is.
I would say probably a lot of kids don't. I feel like if you interviewed
they
a classroom of
definitely
kids,
do.
maybe like 12 of them, 10 of them would know.
There are some things that are so firmly ingrained in pop culture that you can have never consumed a piece of media of it, but still know who that person is. Like Spider-Man, for example. You'd have to read a Spider-Man
comic. I know,
comic,
but like,
or
Sonic that's
is
exactly
absolutely...
what I'm saying. They'll know who it is, but they don't know anything past that. It's the same thing with adults and people who don't play video games. They're gonna know Sonic. He's got a brand. He's got memorable moments and stuff. But he's not standing up to all of this other shit. He can't. Like, even with two good movies, I'm going to say one really good movie and one movie that's fine. I'm going to say that is not enough to bring him back to where he used to be, where he was like the hot shit. This is like, I do not see it like that. Like, obviously Sonic fans think the world of this, and I do too. Don't think I'm saying I hate Sonic. I don't think Sonic's good. I don't think Sonic's recognizable. I have this entire series memorized. You know this. So, like, I obviously can push this. I can talk about this to people. I can bring the information to people. But it's never going to be like, if I go up to someone and say, hey, do you know Sonic? They go, yeah, I think so. I played the game when I was a kid. But if I go, hey, do you know the Lion King? They're going to go, oh, yeah, I love the Lion King. It's so great.
In reference to the Lion King, I haven't disagreed with you, have I?
No, but the other things you're saying, it kind of doesn't change how it works. Like, you see what I mean? Like, you're moving the goalpost in a way that doesn't change my point.
So what you're saying, Dylan, is that, okay, remove Lion King, put him up against Mario. Oh yeah, Sonic. Mario? Okay, put him up against Batman. Whoa, Batman? Oh yeah, Sonic. I know who Sonic is. Like, is that what you're saying? Like, no matter what the
basically, honestly, I think against Mario might be the only time where people are like, oh yeah, Mario and Sonic are rival. Like, that would be a good matchup, I would think. But like,
I feel like with Mario, it could
been.
even they could even rivals. If they were to release a Mario and Sonic movie opposite each other, that could even do them both good, because you could have like another Barbenheimer.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, that would be cool. That would be an appropriate matchup, I would say. But if you put Sonic against most other things, I think it's just not gonna work. And it's unfortunate, because obviously we have a lot of passion for this. I got heated a bit because of how much I do care about this stuff. But like, it's because I know it's not going to work. Like, we're getting lucky so far that they have not been... You know what's funny? Sonic Movie 1, I think, was one of the most popular movies of the year, and they really played that up. It's the best movie, the most highest whatever superhero movie of the year. It's because in 2020 there were fucking no other movies.
I was gonna say, it was COVID and their
That's why it was huge.
The Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
All
Birds
I'm
of
saying
Prey,
is...
right? It beat Birds of Prey, and it's like, because who knows what Birds of Prey is?
with the right marketing, a Sonic movie could sell fucking gangbusters. It could break $1 billion.
Yes,
Because fucking
but they're not
Illumination
marketing it.
Illumination Entertainment can make a fucking movie about ducks and have it successful. And those ducks have
Yes.
indistinguishable character design. You give anything the right marketing budget and you can make it a success. And I think
Yes,
Sonic...
but they're not.
Well, that brings me to my next question. Why not?
That's a good question, because like these days, I'm gonna say the marketing's been getting better for game projects and for some of the other things. Like, I feel like Sonic Prime had a lot of buzz, and Netflix pushed it, which is big. Like, that's gonna be good for them. I'm gonna say...
I mean, they sent the
I think
third
movie
season
2
out
and
to
1
die
had
pretty
some-
much, but, like...
No, they did do that. Like, but I'm saying they marketed it decently. Like, I knew when the episodes came out. Like, that's big. I think Sonic 1 and 2 had marketing that was fine. I think they worked. I think it could have been stronger. The games now are getting tons of buzz because we have these trailers, we've got people posting things about them, we have people playing the demos. Word of mouth is extremely strong. And I think they just need to go big or go home, because a lot of the stuff they're doing, like, let's look at the symphonies. People who don't know Sonic or don't like Sonic are probably not going to that unless, like, their significant other is dragging
That's
them.
a $50
So, like, I wouldn't-
investment compared to a movie ticket.
I know, but I wouldn't... Well, so is a video game. It's like a $60 investment.
Yeah, and he's successful there.
But like, so what I'm thinking is, like, the symphony, that's awesome, right? But it's not really marketing, because the people who are going are people who already like that shit. Like, you don't need to sell Sonic to them if they're going to the Sonic Symphony. So they need to do more to break out. And I know they're, like, doing more clothing brands and stuff, like clothing deals. That's something, at least. It's not really, like, game marketing, but it's like brand marketing in the long run. I think what they need to do is they do need to go a lot harder on the brand stuff, because they could get back to where they were. They could go back to being one of the biggest things.
Yeah,
but
I think
they're not. And I think it's money, and they're not confident yet.
That's another thing that I'm also very much trying to combat with my mentality, is that, like, Sonic Frontiers, for example, its marketing was very Breath of the Wild. Sonic Lost World's marketing was very Super Mario.
Yeah,
and the Sonic
Frontiers
movies
was also very bad marketing, I would say.
And Sonic movies and stuff like that are very in the direction of, like, Alvin and the Chipmunks and Paul Blart Mall Cop, kind of, in terms of how they market these things. Like, oh, it's like humans are in this.
Yes, it's very memey.
I think the Sonic franchise would do better if they went full Sonic, and I think that applies to the movies. I know some people are like, oh, but there are adults going to see the live action characters. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you. No, they're not. Like, no one.
It shouldn't be about that.
Nobody in the world.
Yeah, this I agree with Pup on the idea of like Sonic as a cartoon character. Like, there should be no idea of, like, it's like, oh, what about the adult? It's a cartoon. Just
I don't need James
and
Marsden
the adults.
People will just watch cartoons. People watch cartoons. Kids watch cartoons.
Like, and this brings me back to my point about parents. 90% of parents going to see the Sonic movies and taking their kids to them are not gonna see it because James Marsden's in it. They're gonna see it because I remember Sonic from the Sega Mega Drive. And because the kid wants to see it, but the parents will probably be fairly on board with it because I remember Sonic. Like, Sonic is a bigger household name.
90% of parents saying I know the Mega Drive. Like, I feel like that would be like, I think it's much more like,
dude,
my kid likes Sonic.
Look at the time we're at
go.
now. I'm not talking about baby boomer parents like our own. I'm talking about
You're talking about, like, people our age.
No, I'm talking about millennial parents. Like, that's the majority of the parents now, is probably millennials.
People my age.
I mean, not necessarily our age, but, like, the upper end of our generation, I guess. Like, even down to, like...
I agree in that sense, but I don't think... I think it's going to be for the kids, because, like, you don't want to take a kid anywhere if the kid's not going to be satisfied.
I know, of course. Also, like
a restaurant or a bowling alley, like, the kid's going to be pissing.
I also think the idea that a parent wouldn't take their kid to see the Sonic movie because it doesn't have enough big names for the parent is fucking absurd. Like, Jesus Christ, become a good parent, I beg. But, like,
Yeah, actually, you know what? I have a good point about this. My dad, actually, he will not watch anything if it's animated. Like, I've told him so many times, like, he likes some superhero movies. I was like, Dad, you should really check out Invincible. I think you would like it. It's like a very mature and like heavy show about superheroes. And he was like, is it animated? And I was like, yup. And he goes, well, I won't like it then.
I'll
so, like,
refrain
there's
from
people
judgment,
out there.
because I know people are strange. But I would still not call
You know?
that the majority.
I wouldn't say he's the majority, but I have definitely seen people say, like, oh, it's a cartoon. Why would you watch that?
Although
You know,
I
like,
do,
like they think cartoons are only for children. And that kind of extends to the whole, like, movie debacle as a whole. Because, like, animated movies still can't be nominated for, like, best movie. They have to be,
like,
best animated movie.
But then, like,
and it gets a lot more less buzz.
How have companies like Pixar and Illumination sustain themselves if that was such a big problem? Like, I don't think it is a big problem. I'm not saying I want a Sonic movie to feel like an Illumination film. Fuck no. But if Illumination can market a fully animated movie about mushroom people and plumbers, there is absolutely no reason why a talking animal movie should be such a challenge.
Right. Yeah, I would
Animal
agree.
movies are popular, but I'm gonna say, I know this might sound like I'm backpedaling on my Sonic point, but I don't think Mario has the same problem as Sonic. I don't think it has, because Mario's been consistently a powerhouse for the last 35 years or whatever, and he's not faltered.
The
like,
thing
in
is,
the grand scheme of things.
I understand our experiences probably form us, and I understand that I haven't talked to everyone in the world, but when I have talked to people outside of the Sonic bubble and brought up Sonic, the sentiments are not the ones that you see on the internet. Like, you know, most of the time it's like,
the
oh,
internet's going to be the
Sonic.
most vocal, though. That's the problem.
It's
The
gonna be the most
internet is going to be
vocal,
the
though,
most vocal thing. It's not going to be the random people that go see the movie with their kid and say, I'm going to leave a Yelp review or whatever for that,
Yeah,
because
but
it was a
they're
good
not
movie.
gonna-
Like,
they're
people on
not
the
gonna-
internet see it and they go, wow, that was great, or wow, that was awful, and then from there, opinion will shift because of that.
Little Billy's, like, fucking millennial parents are not gonna scroll through IGN while sat in the cinema deciding whether or not to take him to see the Sonic movie and going, nah,
I
he's
know,
just a
that's
princess.
not what I said. I said
No, I
people are
know,
going to
I'm-
see the
it's-
movie and they're going to like it, but they're not going to go online and talk about it, so it's not going to matter. Like, the only things that matter these days are when you go and be vocal about things. Because if you just watch a movie and go, yeah, I liked that, like, that doesn't mean a goddamn thing aside from the fact that you paid $16 to get
But
a
that's
ticket
the
for the movie.
point that I was making, is the Sonic stigma doesn't mean beans outside of the internet and Sonic's fan base. That was the point I was
Sure,
making the whole
but, like,
time.
that doesn't really change it, though, because, like, the internet is still going to, like, it's not going to make people stop and not see the movie, but I'm saying everyone on the internet who sees, wow, that was bad, is probably not going to, unless it's Morbius. But, like, that's a very special case. You know, like,
Sure,
everyone said it was bad, so everyone went to see it.
I'm sorry,
But,
how
like,
did we...
when
how did
you...
we- I don't know how we got to the quality of the movie part, though. I was talking more about just kind of Sonic's overall reputation and how that could impact, like, who's going to see the
Because you
movie.
just talked about movies. You just said, what if little Timmy goes to see the movie and is, like, they're not going to be affected by the internet. Like, they are going to go see it regardless.
No, that's not
because
what...
little Timmy
Sorry,
likes Sonic.
that's not what I was saying. I think I probably articulated that wrong.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm a little...
I mean, I think we hit all the points. I have a question for Dylan, if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
What do you... So with the marketing thing, I don't know if you... This is kind of more in a positive sense. I don't know if you noticed this. For Sonic Frontiers, I saw a lot of the marketing for... Or, like word-of-mouth marketing for that game being the Titan fights, but less so the Titan fights and more so how amazing the music was. Because didn't, like, the Titan fight music, like top charts? Like, on, like,
the music
Spotify?
community were
Probably.
heavily into that.
When I said earlier that I thought Frontiers marketing was bad, I mean stuff like before they... Like, you know when they showed off the first IGN thing? And it was just like, it looked so boring.
Marketing. I agree with you. I'm saying, like, am I crazy?
Later on, I think it got better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was just asking, am I crazy to say that, man, isn't it? It's really good that those games had that music, because that music really did, like,
oh, yeah.
skyrocketed to a lot of...
I mean, the Titan fights and the music definitely stepped up the spectacle of Frontiers. Like, I was blown away when I saw that shit, so, like...
Well, I just mean even
like
for normal
that
people,
they-
like, I was seeing, like, music channels being recommended, like, oh, you should react
yeah,
to
they, like,
the Titan
I've seen a
fight.
lot
and
of
stuff.
that, yeah.
You know,
That will have
it's
done the
definitely
game.
a step up, and people will notice the quality.
Well,
But,
I
yeah,
think...
you know, they weren't paying attention to it before that.
Oh,
the
no,
overall
what
point
I
was...
all I was saying was just, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, it is cool.
No, I
it's,
agree
it's
with
like
you.
cool how they got that to work, and I think they should push that more. Like, market
I
more with music, because music is powerful.
Yes,
like,
I
people
agree.
will get a song stuck in their heads and not be able to stop thinking about Sonic for like 6 days.
Yeah.
Like, that's
The,
huge.
the bottom kind of line of what I'm trying to say, though, because I think it's gotten mixed up in everything, is just that I think Sonic does stand a chance against a lot of IPs. Like, he has a fighting chance at the very... I'm not saying he's going to blow him out of the water or anything, but I think he has at least a chance against most IPs if they just go full Sonic with it. and don't.
I agree. I think you're right. I
say-
think I will agree to that. Like, he has the potential, and I hate that word because so many people use it to like give credit to things that don't deserve it.
Yeah.
But I think the franchise has the potential to get back to where it needs to be. It's just if they keep picking, if they pick a fight with the Lion King, it's not going to help. That's my main point. Like, if they pick, they're not picking a fight, but like releasing on the same day and then not changing it, that seems like a really bad move. Because I think you're right. I think they will eventually get back to where they can like thrive if the games and stuff keep being good. But right now, we're still coming off the Sonic is a flop joke era. Like, we are just out of that. We are so freshly out of that, and I'm hyped because I know that this could lead to a huge uprising of good Sonic content, people liking this franchise and not thinking it's a joke. But they're not there yet. They are taking good steps towards it.
I think if so, the Sonic 3 movie they have already. I don't know if it is going to stand a fucking chance against Lion King, but what I will say is, I think if they did actually want to get brave with it, one thing they could, if they had a movie trailer that was just showing loads of fucking amazing action of Sonic versus Shadow, and
With some
really,
cool music,
really great stuff, and made it utterly inescapable. Like, just made Sonic and Shadow utterly inescapable. Do the Illumination brand of aggressive marketing. Sonic could already stand a chance against the Lion King. I'm not saying he beat it, but he could already stand a chance. But I think the thing is, the movie they've got hidden away there is going to be... It's going to be a sequel to the other two Sonic movies. It's not going to be the big go-hard Sonic experience that captivated our generation when we were younger. It's going to be Sonic that's been made digestible. I think that's the number one thing I'm saying is
I think
Sonic...
you're right. I think like if they did go all Sonic, like you kept saying, I think that would actually push it into where it could stand.
Sonic needs to stop trying... He needs to stop dressing up as Mario and Link to please the Mario and Link fans. If they're going to be interested in Sonic, they're going to get interested in Sonic because he's Sonic. Not because he's Link and Mario.
The funny thing is, Sonic's like kind of marketing too cool for school attitude. If you updated it to the modern day of like, if they had an aggressive marketing campaign of like, yeah, you're gonna go see like the pussy Lion King when like fucking Sonic's here, I think like the internet would like get all over it. Like, yeah, let's have a blood war, you know.
It
let's
would be like Oppenheimer and Barbie again. Like, people would go insane.
So I think
it'd be like the Sonic King.
Yeah, so like I think genuinely like people would root for Sonic if he actually was more aggressive, like if he wasn't just like, you know, with these movies are trying to be more family friendly.
It's funny because that's what he was from the beginning. He was aggressively punching up at Nintendo, and it worked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, I think that's how you get Sonic back in people's faces, is you punch people in the face. You know, like you do it with Sonic.
You have to.
That's a big part of why I think Sonic shouldn't move its release date and should just, when they get to marketing, go relentless.
If they stab at the Lion King and make fun... Okay, here's the best thing I think they could possibly do.
Make fun of it?
They should play up the idea that, like, sure, they are not making an animated movie, and, if like, the live-action thing is really important to them, they should play up the fact that the Lion King movie really isn't live-action in the traditional sense. Like, it's basically the exact same kind of movie, and if you don't go see Sonic because you're going to see Lion King... You're a hypocrite, because if you're saying you don't like animated movies, but you'll go watch CGI lions, that just means you're an idiot. You know, like, you are just being difficult.
Relentlessly mock it, basically.
You know something they could do?
Mock the idea that this is like a cookie-cutter, boring, shit-ass movie that's probably just gonna make $1 billion and not be good.
You know,
but like, push the Sonic movie as being actually good.
What would be the greatest marketing campaign ever be if the first teaser for Sonic 3 dropped, and it shows Pride Rock, it zooms in, and Big the Cat is just fishing on the edge of Pride Rock. And then you hear Sonic go, boring, watch this. And then it goes into the Sonic 3 trailer.
Well, actually, did you guys...
Literally that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, did you guys... This is a fun example because it's literally mocking its own company. But, like, that's why I always love the Lilo and Stitch trailers, where they would insert Stitch into older movies, and then he would just, like,
that was a good campaign.
And, like...
Yeah,
like those.
Like,
so good.
I guess they can't do that specifically, but they definitely could find a way to creatively punch at it and like just make it work. And
I agree.
Yeah,
have Sonic beef with Mufasa.
I know he goes. Well, you know whose dad's not gonna die? My dad.
Oh my god, that actually killed Tom in the movie.
This would be a great way to get, like, sued, but just show a bit of the movie. It's like, look, y'all know he's gonna die anyway. Just watch my movie instead.
Yeah, who know? And then it goes, who knows who's gonna die? And then he like looks to the left.
Oh my god, no! Yeah, open it up with Sonic being like, oh, "I hate prequel movies. You always know who's gonna live and who's gonna die." And then you go into this all-out action thing. Like that way, you don't even have to acknowledge the Lion King. You could literally just.
That'd be good because, well, I mean, I guess we know Shadow might die.
Well, that was my joke. It's like, oh man, you know he's gonna die. And then Shadow looks.
I'll market this thing. I'll make $1 billion. I promise. I'll do it for free.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say is that was probably one of the most fun discussions on this podcast in a long time. So thank you, Dylan, for bringing your passion. That was awesome.
See, that wouldn't have happened if I was high. I would have just like not cared. I would have just been like, yeah, that's true.
Also I do want to quickly apologize in case I did come off as heated there.
No, I don't. Same thing, because people in the chat were saying, "Wow, Dylan's heated," and I think I did get heated, but that's just because when I'm talking and then I hear like someone start talking, I'm kind of like, I'm not done yet.
Oh no!
Finish first.
Like, yeah, no. Dylan definitely had more of like energy to it, but like, no, I don't think you were rude, and I don't think Dylan were rude because the thing I'm thinking is like, oh, this is what I want. Two friends who are like, no, shut the fuck up for a second. Let's go. Like that's what
exactly.
It felt.
I want to make it. I'm gonna make it clear that is what that was. I wasn't like, Pop, you're a fucking idiot, like stupid bastard. No. Like that's not what it was.
That was perfect. I love that.
I'm gonna close down that window that I had for that hacking website to get into your YouTube channel and delete it, and we move from there.
I'm not making any money off it right now, anyway.
Chats, I think that was a perfect send off.
All right, shall we move on to super chats?
Sure thing.
Lord knows I'm tired. Okay.
Yeah, I'm very tired after that.
Oh shit! I didn't
Great.
Paste them.
There's a lot of energy I expended.
All for the hog.
Yep. See, because I'm passionate about what this shit does. Like, I care, you know?
Literally the beginning of the Nick cycle. This every time Nick... And he quit.
Well, thankfully, that's not what that was. That was just a conversation.
So, episode 217 is last?
Yeah, we'll see how I'm doing in like 100 episodes. We'll see how it goes.
You're just catatonic and sitting in a box.
I'm like that picture of him from the first episode of Smiling Friends.
Yeah.
But he's all depressed and like...
Dude,
Season, by the way, did you... Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, season 2 is better than season 1, correct? We all in agreement?
I haven't seen
Smiling
season
Friends?
2 yet.
Yeah,
Smiling Friends.
I think more Alan in season 2 makes it my favorite, but also like they just dialed up the crazy shit, which I appreciate.
I think Frank.
Yeah, no, I love
it. Season 1 has like a very, very like important place in my heart because that shit was very funny, and I'm glad it actually got made.
No, season 1's great, but going back to it, I'm like, no, like season 2 is just this season, but a billion times better. I don't know how anyone could like.
Very good.
It's so good, like so good.
All right, guys.
Yeah. Like, I think I've watched season 2 more than season 1 at this point, but it's not because I dislike season 1. It's like
season 1's still good.
It's just season 2 is very good.
All right, guys. So Dylan, you'll be first on the super chat docket, and then it'll be me, and then it will be Ian. How it is. All right. So Borker. Oh, also super chat mailbag, Ian.
Yes.
So we have $5 from My Great Rolls. Hi guys, first time making it to a live show. Just had a quick question. Will any of you be at Sonic Expo this November down in Texas?
I will not.
I don't think so, because like, unfortunately money is just not good right now, so I would like to, because I know some of my friends are going. But...
I'll see you there. No, I won't be there. Way too far for me, and I don't have the cash to travel right now.
Yeah, unfortunately it comes down to money, but
I'm sorry.
Thank you for the super chat, though. I hope you have a good time.
Good to see you here, my great. Next up, we have my friend, AB Porker, who sends $4.99 US Shadow Generations is pretty much Sonic Frontiers 1.5, and I'm all here for it. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like a midquel to Generations, while also being kind of like a sequel to Frontiers, spiritually anyway. And I think they're doing really cool things, you know? You know how it is?
Absolutely.
Borker.
Mr. Terry Chaos for €2. Which character blazes most, and why is it big?
There's a clue.
I think it might be Blaze.
Yes.
I reckon
reckon,
it's legal in the Soul Dimension.
I reckon Knuckles probably has a little bit of boof as he guards the
he's
Master
probably
Emerald.
bored as fuck.
Yeah, he just kind of sits there and just like boofs up a little.
Oh, is this weed talk?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what.
Oh, I was like, what is this, a pun? Which one? I thought it was like, which character blazes? Like, is it the idea? It's like, oh, it's Blaze, but it's big. I don't understand. See, this, I need to get into weed, I guess.
Because Big sits around and gets high fishing. That makes sense to me.
One of these days, the in-person Sunset Stoner sesh.
Oh boy. Thank you.
I said Borker. Borker Dylan.
Oh, is he? Oh, I'm back. Okay. Let's see. Mr. Terry Chaos, the £2. Oh, sorry, we already did that. Dragon Fruit with $10. It's not the size of Metal Overlord that counts. It's how they use him. Happy Friday.
Says everybody with a little Metal Overlord.
Robot.
With a little robot. Just a little tiny robot.
Borker. Okay, so Blinky sends $5. I believe that tweet was using legacy controls, because on Fidel's Twitter you don't have to air dash to drop dash because air D is on square. The thing is, in the video that Start posted, they did have R2 as the boost button, so I'm not so sure myself. But I guess we'll find out soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Oh, I'm glad that you can put the boost on R2, because I end up pressing that button now whenever I play games that aren't Frontiers.
Oh yeah, it's an option. Yeah, no, definitely. Borker.
Let's see. Blinky for $5. I believe that tweet. Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. Dragon Fruit for $5. Sonic is fairly popular, but when it's going up against the franchise that made $1 billion at the box office twice, not even a competition. Lion King, we all agree, not do well.
That's what I'm saying. But if it was up against like a Where's Waldo movie, then Sonic wins easy. But like
beef with the
there's
Lion
a lot of
King,
things that Sonic will immediately lose to. It's like rock paper scissors.
And all I've got is rock.
And all we've got is rock. Yeah.
Want to fuck my wife?
I agree. I think it is a good, like, Sonic can win. Like we were saying earlier, there is the very real possibility, especially now, with all of like the successes they're having, that it could have like a resurgence, it could have a big renaissance. And I know it's having a renaissance with the Sonic fans. Like, we all feel it. I was pissed before Frontiers. Like, I felt like for the last 12 years before Frontiers, I had hardly any good stuff to experience in the Sonic franchise, aside from, like, Mania, Generations. But, like, 11 years after Generations, when I'm still waiting for something to get as good as that, it's like, shit, dude. Like, who cares anymore? But, like, they pulled it back. Like, I'm back. I really want to see what they do now. Like, I really, really want them to succeed.
Another thing worth noting is that Shadow Generations marks the first time since the original Sonic Generations that in a marketing campaign they've gone full Sonic. Without relying on like, oh look, it's just like that other video game you like.
Oh yeah, no, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
All right, Dylan, you are up with just a whole lot of fucking emotes here.
Okay. How did I... Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong chat all of a sudden. I saw $100 from TJ Nightwolf in the Patreon mailbag questions, and I was like, holy shit.
So sorry.
So are we on... Which one are we? Are we on...
It's the one with a lot of reacts.
Okay, so this one is Inanimate Marso, $4.99, no message.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Inanimate
Thank you very
Marso.
much.
Certified.
Do you want me to
yogurt
read the
mate.
next one since there was no message?
Yeah, you
Sure,
might as well.
burger.
Okay. Next up, we have KB, $4.99 US dollars. The mentality of animation is just for kids, and animation is a genre kind of pisses you off. Yes.
I agree.
Animation is just a medium. The same as just filming.
And it's also like, the best one, but that's just my opinion.
It's also a shit ton more work, I would say.
Oh,
So
easily.
like it should be
Potential.
treated as such.
Yeah.
Burger. Okay. Sonic does what Disney don't. Best marketing ever. Well, if I had it my way. If they got me as the marketing manager, hell yeah. Sonic 3 would break $1 billion even up against the Lion King.
I believe you.
I could see it. Like, if they had someone who was truly super passionate marketing this shit, I think that would go a long way.
You know
I'm
how
not
we've
saying
had
the movie team and the game teams aren't passionate. And you know what? You can kind of see the passion back with Sonic Team now. You can see that they're excited for this game.
You know how in Sonic
like,
1 and 2 there have been farting
more.
moments? I'd have the new trailer have Sonic on the toilet, takes a poopy, and he looks in the bowl and he sees the Lion King.
Okay,
It's
that
just Simba's face.
Wow,
Or-
it's like a Rorschach test.
No,
Yeah,
recreate the scene where fucking Scar kills Mufasa, but instead it's Scar dangling there. So
And
it's
then
someone that kind of deserves, and then Shadow just kicks him off into
I
the
was gonna
stampede.
say, yeah, have Mufasa hanging, and then Sonic comes up and he goes, "Well, that's you. You're probably wondering how you got into this scenario." And he just kicks him off.
It should be Shadow, because that, like, oh.
I think they should get a real lion and then animate Sonic and Shadow near it, and then just be like, "Why would you want to watch this?"
Yeah, look at
Maybe
this thing.
have maybe like a 9-hour video of like a lion cub trying to revive its dead father.
I think that would cause people to go see the movie. I think that would be a very sympathetic, sentimental thing.
Now people wouldn't see
you know
the
what they
Lion
do?
King because they'd be like, I don't want to see more of that. I'll see Sonic instead. Traumatize
you know what they do?
them out of seeing the Lion King.
They tell the story that I was told at church camp about Lust, which is they go, "Oh, there was a group of kids and they had a pet lion and he was friends with them and they loved the lion, but the adult said, no, the lion's bad. You do this with Sonic characters and Simba." And they go, "Oh, the lion's bad." But then one day Sonic got a bruise on his knee and blood was there, and then the lion consumed him. He wasn't your friend anymore, and that's why you shouldn't kiss girls. The end.
I don't understand the parallels between a lion killing you and dating a woman.
But that's what I was.
I mean, to some extent I can, I guess, but like it's not exactly 1-to-1.
It's still amazing to me, though,
Really?
that we have this show the way that it is. This show, its sense of humor, all of it the way that it is, and we have a man of God with us. That's insane.
Well, I do what I can, but I don't have many good stories. All right, we up to KB.
And you know,
yes.
you know what's funny? I think like not to bring this to like a religion talk, but like
Go for it.
just the very quickest thing.
Do it.
We know, Dylan,
Like
you
I
hate
met
Christians.
someone. No, that's not what I was gonna say. I made a friend a long time ago at PAX East. He was there showing off his video game, and I ended up talking with him a lot. And then eventually we talked on Discord and stuff. And like obviously in person it didn't come across, but like in Discord it's just like he told me all about his like religion and like how important it is to him and stuff. And I think like and because it's funny because he watched one of my videos and he said something like, "Oh, I watched your video and I really liked it, but like there's some part like where you said something about hell or something about, whatever, and it's kind of against my religion, but I still, like I know it's not yours, so I wouldn't like not watch it or say it's bad because of that." And it kind of put things in new perspective because like I just didn't really think about any of that before someone told me. And I was like, yeah, maybe just mentioning stuff like this is even if I don't mean anything, it's like I don't want to like invoke stuff that could be important. So these days I try so hard to have like the word God to not be part of like my general lexicon because I don't want to like give people the impression that I'm like making fun of something. Because
Well,
like
that's
that's
really
not what I want to do.
Hell is
that's really
fine.
cool because. Well, I was gonna say,
Hell is a word to me. Hell is like a word. I don't care about that as much. But like it's
Even
just like I don't want to be out there just throwing out like, you don't want to curse the name of someone else's
Deity.
important figures.
Well, no, I've actually.
someone else's deity.
That's really cool though, because I've seen like definitely a lot of videos where it's like, we'll use any word or not to use any word under the sun, but it's like, oh, people just say, oh, Jesus Christ, like that, and I'm like,
Yeah, no, I'm still very, very like. That's like a very, very ingrained thing in my brain, and like even my grandparents who are extremely Catholic and Christian whatever will say that. So it's like I do want to stop some of that, but like, and again, in the video, it wasn't anything crazy. It's just like I might have said like, "Gosh, damn," like something like that.
Was it not the
So now
skit
it's like,
where
it's
you were
either gonna be
literally
gosh
in
or,
hell
like-
and it had frozen over?
I think that was the actual video. I think it's because like I depicted myself as being in a frozen over place of hell, and like my friend was like, in the religion we don't really mess with that because it's so like serious.
To be
And
fair,
I was like, okay,
to be fair, I
that's
can
fair,
understand why
you know?
anyone would watch that video and feel offended because you said that Sonic Lost World on the 3DS was good.
Well,
I
and
like the controls a lot.
Well, I also want to say, like, that's
It
cool that you
does.
think that. That's cool that you consider those things. But yeah, with like the health, like with a lot of that stuff, like to me, like the biggest one is just like it's like, oh Jesus Christ, or like, oh goddamn, or whatever. Like those are the things where I'm like, oh come on, people. But also
And,
like
I was raised Christian. Like I was raised religious. Like I went to CCD for 12 years and then I didn't complete it because I didn't believe in it anymore.
Yeah.
So like I
Here's-
know that stuff is important and I get it.
But here's what I'll also say to fight back against my point. His name's not God and his name's not Jesus. So technically, you're not
That's also
doing
true.
you're not
His
doing
name,
anything
remember when he
wrong.
was... Well, what
Yeah,
was
his
Jesus'
name is
His name is-
Channel Pup.
His name is
It's me.
Joshua. It's Yeshua. For God, it's like Yahweh. It's Jehovah.
Yeah,
so
I
like
heard Yahweh, yeah.
yeah, Yahweh, Jehovah. Like when it says the Lord in your Bible or whatever, that what that actually says in like the actual Hebrew text is like Yahweh, but they don't want to confuse people. So like that's always the funny thing is like that's really nice that you do that, but also if people get mad about that, just always remember they're also technically
yeah.
wrong. So,
And he wasn't mad at all.
Yeah,
like he was
yeah,
saying like I like the video a lot. It's just that one part I didn't watch because like it made me, it's weird for
Yeah,
my
which
religion. I
totally fair
totally
to
get
him.
that, and I think that's the
Yeah.
only time someone has ever said that to me. So I was like, oh, and they said it in a way like I think if they had said it in like a really like if it was someone else and they were being mean to me about it, I probably would not have internalized it as much. But
Yeah.
because it was someone who I knew, and I was like, oh,
You
they were
value
genuine
it.
about
I didn't look at that.
and they were
You know,
genuine
Like,
about it.
it's just very good information.
Yeah, no. I could go on about this stuff all day. It's really fascinating. But who's the next person to talk? I forget. Is it you?
I'm not even an atheist. I'm
No, I
I
meant
don't
to
have
read.
enough information. Like I don't have enough information for anything. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
think-
fair.
That's where I'm at.
I think everyone is right and everyone is wrong all at once, unless you think it's okay to kill people, and in which case that's kind of bad.
Yes, if you're using religion in the name of like hurting people or removing things like their freedoms or trying to like say, let's say like the previous president who was trying to take away freedoms from LGBT plus people. It's like if you're using God and religion as a way to push against something you don't
Control
personally
and
like
harm
or
people.
understand, then
Yeah.
you are getting the wrong. You're not doing this right. Like you are using it in a way that those figures that you care about would not approve of. Like it's weird. It's because like there is a lot of hypocrisy in it. Like love thy neighbor, and it's like so many people hate each other. It's
Except
like
for all
I don't know.
Except for all the ones I fucking hate. Yeah.
Yeah, love thy neighbor, except if they're like
This creed
I
or
don't know,
this
any-
identity. Yeah.
it's very, very upsetting because like I see how important it is to people, and like this goes for any religion. It's very important to some people, and using it in a way that contradicts it, I think, is a lot worse than someone saying like Jesus Christ or goddamn. Like
of
that.
course.
That's like something I
Absolutely.
don't want to forgive.
Absolutely. Well, and as far like I'm sure very many people are also like, Ian, you swear a lot. Yes, I do. I used to be one of the people who don't swear, but then I realized there's not a list in the Bible. But also,
You are also on the single most godless Sonic podcast imaginable.
I'm hanging out with the sinners. No, but yeah, but no, like it's as simple as words. The reason words are important is because words can be used to tear and lift people up or tear them down. Doesn't really matter if I call you a shithead or a poopy head. If my whole point is that I want to make you feel bad, that's what the words matter for.
Welcome
yeah.
back.
If we're just shooting the shit and having fun, then they don't mean anything.
Welcome back.
And that's
to
another thing. I'm not gonna get too much into that, but that's why I always think it's stupid when people are like, "Oh no, don't swear in front of this child," and it's like they're gonna swear eventually anyway. Who cares?
Welcome
Like,
back
it's
to
just a word.
Sunset City. Now, to be honest,
Like,
when people like don't swear around my kids, I'm like, don't have kids around me.
That too. Yeah,
Put
like
it back
I
in.
would just not
No,
like that. But I was
I
thinking
remember
the other
there
day,
was-
I'm like, if I had a kid, like if I was like a father, and my kid said like shit, I would be like, hey man, don't say that in class. But like, I really don't care if you when you're with me, I don't give a shit.
I remember.
Well, no, although Dylan, to your point about like not swearing around other people's kids, like you, Brett, mentioned, if someone was like, "Hey, Dylan, I don't really want him to hear those types of words. Could you just keep, just not say that, please?"
Just say
I'm sure you'd be like,
yeah,
"Oh,
I would
yeah, sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, of course."
I do
Yeah,
remember.
Yeah, like, it's not like I walk around in public and I'm like, fuck that. Like I'm not like just a motor mouth, sailor mouth man everywhere in public. Like if I'm in public, I tend to be more reserved about that stuff because I don't know who's listening and I don't know whose kid might hear me.
I do
but,
remember
like,
when
it
I was
seems dumb to me. Like
when
Yeah,
I was
agreed.
at the Virginia Beach area. We were eating at a restaurant called Freddy's, and I was there with the old Sunset City gang. And the restaurant was mostly empty. It was kind of like a weekday kind of thing. It was mostly empty. There was our table, and then there was another table, like a table away from us, basically. A woman and a kid. And I think one of the Sunset City boys was like, "Oh, by the way, pup, they're kind of giving you some weird looks because you might be saying some curse words." Like, yeah, but I didn't ask her to bring a kid here, did I? I didn't ask her to sit on the next table over, did I?
you're
Like-
paying to be there. Like
and it's not like I'm like going up to the kid and being like, "Hey, buddy, you want to know a fun new word? Shit." Like, and even if I do that, I'd be awesome. But like, no, like, and they weren't also they weren't all like, "Oh, pup, stop swearing." They were like, "No, I get it." I was like, "Yeah." But I
the
did.
only thing that
Sorry, go
could
on.
cause me to like change my mind about you specifically in this situation is that I know that sometimes you say shit when talking to friends that like I don't even want to hear.
Don't know how to respond.
But, like, I can imagine if you were in public, you weren't saying anything like insane. Like you were just cursing.
Ask the
Unless
boys
you were
about that.
actually just no filter, because like I think no filter pop is a little different than just swearing in public.
So the
That's
thing
like
is
the one
that
thing I'll say.
the thing is, I know some people have kind of say I use this as an excuse or as a crutch, but there are some joke topics that are perfectly acceptable out in public in the UK that are not in the USA.
Yes. Yeah,
So-
I understand that.
So there are some things where it's like I could make a joke just walking down the street in the UK and not get a second's thought, whereas those same topics have been brought up while hanging out with the old Sunset City crew, and they've been like, not in public, dude. And it's like, right, yes, I get it. Like, I should probably conform to what you guys are doing. It's why I do refute when people say, "Oh, you're using it as an excuse," because A, if you haven't been to the UK, shut the fuck up, and B,
Yeah, you've lived your entire life there. Like
and-
I'm not gonna blame you for like the difference.
and
You
B,
know?
I am going to make an effort to try and keep it on the down low, but sometimes it does slip out. It can happen. And, I don't feel good about it as and when. And I do try to
Or, like,
dial things back a
yeah.
little bit around Americans as well sometimes. But yeah,
Yeah, like even something like people like if you say the C word here, people are like, "Bro, what the fuck?" But
Yeah.
in England, isn't that like
Yeah,
that's like a super common term?
yeah, that always throws me off. I'm always like, "Oh, right."
yeah, no, definitely.
Like that's just one example right there. Like it's completely different. Like or and this is a funny one to me. Like in the US, if you say fanny, we mean like your ass.
Yeah, whereas
But
in
like
the UK
that's
it
not
means
what that means in English.
in the UK it means pussy.
The other
it's just
side.
really funny.
Yeah.
Doesn't
So, like-
bender mean something in like UK? Because I
Yeah,
know like there's
bender-
there's like
in-
Avatar. Oh, they're benders, and people are like, "Whoa."
Yeah, in the UK, if you call someone a bender, they're not straight. Basically, they're gay.
Okay.
It's a way of calling someone gay is to say they're bent, and that's
Okay.
I
perfectly
didn't know
common.
that.
Okay,
And
interesting.
the less I say about what British people call cigarettes, the better.
Yes.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Don't need to mention that one.
Yeah.
That's,
Anyway,
that's crazy to me that hasn't changed.
It,
Actually,
do- it
Like,
hasn't.
like,
It
out of
hasn't
everything,
changed
like,
because there is no governing authority on that. All I'll say is
I
don't
know,
go
but,
saying it
like,
on Twitter.
it's just things around the whole world. Like, if we take the whole world into account, I'm gonna say things probably have changed as a result of other places, at least a little bit. Like I feel like that one with how not gonna say how connected the US and the UK are, but like that one's surprising to me that it's still like a term that people can just use because it's like so crazy bad, like over here at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Culture is fascinating and cool. I like it.
Yeah, it is interesting.
So, the next super chat. Who's up for this one? I don't know who's.
I'll just.
The next one is from KB.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, the next one from KB is $1.99. Did you guys see the Japanese Sonic Movie 3 title? No. What is it? Is it like it is in
Yeah,
Sonic?
What's this?
Sonic 3 was called Sonic v Knuckles in Japan. So I'd imagine this one will be Sonic v Shadow, right?
I don't know.
Which should be an awesome title. Let me see. Sonic 3 Japanese.
I didn't know they released a title thing.
Title. Sonic. I can't say it. Sonic who. Hedgehogu Siru. I don't know. I think that's referring to the game. Yeah, I have no idea. If anyone wants to enlighten me, though, that would be epic. But yeah, that's just what Google told me.
Yeah, no, I can't help you there.
Yeah, but thanks for the money.
And then there is two more.
$5 US from 3 Monarch. Song of the Day, Luna by Devin Morrison. Have a rockin' weekend. Thank you.
I like how 3 Monarch has just given us all a playlist. That's awesome.
Song of the Day, Luna by Devin Morrison. I'll give it a shot. Thanks, man.
Porker. Dylan.
Oh, sorry. I forgot we were in order. Last up, we got Let's See with $2. By the way, Pup, you got Mysterio and Fortnite yet? Oh, we still gotta do that.
Not yet. It's been a fucking trying week. But mark my
words. You wanna
words.
play after those?
You know what? That might do me some good.
You around? I mean, I have to eat eventually, but I can hang out for a while.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely game to do some Fortnite after this, yeah.
Frank, you better get in here, dude.
Yeah. Gotta get in here for those Family Guy jokes. But yeah, and that wraps up the Super Chat.
And Ian,
Super
I
Chat
believe
cutoff.
last time Pup asked, you said you don't play Fortnite, right? But you are definitely welcome.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah. No, I don't play Fortnite, but I appreciate it. I watch my brother
if you just
play
want to,
Fortnite.
like, hang in the call with us or whatever.
Oh, if you just want to hang out, too. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
But okay, then. Well,
and don't feel like you need to either. Like, that's just, you're welcome. You are welcome always.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
That concludes the episode. So, Dylan, what are you up to on your channel?
Well, every week I say I'm working on a thing and then it doesn't come out because I am horrible at time management, and I'm going to bring it back again. Weed is not good for productivity. So, when I tell you I'm going to make a big change next week, expect it. I'm going to try and upload a video at least once a day next week, just to see if I can do it, because I need to get back on the ball. So I don't think I'm going to be uploading anything this weekend. I was working on something, but it's like this Soul Dimension video that I mentioned before, where I just talk about the Soul Dimension and Blaze for a bit. I don't think that'll come out this weekend. Maybe next weekend, but next week I'm going to try to have at least one video every day, because I need to get back on the ball.
Oh, that's awesome. A video a day?
It's going to be brutal, but like I need
really
to do
difficult
something
to keep up
because,
with daily uploads.
And I'm going to say this actually, with what?
Daily uploads are really difficult.
Or with daily? I thought we said with dating, and I was like, well, I'm not doing that either. So, but what I want to say is, it's interesting to me thinking back. My channel, when it was, and I swear this isn't all about money. I swear it's not, because like I want to make videos that I like, and I still do that. But like when I was uploading a video of a Sonic Mania mod every day of the week, that is when my channel did the best out of any time in the world. And like, that's what I want to try and capture again. So I'm going to do like, hey, video every day. It's probably going to be shorter. It's probably going to not be as like the scripted style I usually do. Probably be more improv. But I think when it comes to the weekend, I really want to still put up a video that's like scripted and edited well. Stuff like that. So I'm going to be trying, and I hope that you guys will be there for it.
Guys, he's really trying, so like make sure you tune in. If you don't, you're a bad friend.
I'm really going to try.
And I wish you're all good friends. Ian, what's going on with you?
Actually, stuff is happening for now. I'm actually making videos again. So yeah, it's been like over a year since I made anything. Usually my schedule is usually my thing is I make like 3 videos a year. Because they take a billion years and I'm bad at making videos. But yeah, so I'm going to basically I took off every Friday for like 3 months because I have a bunch of vacation time. And so, aside from being on this podcast, the second I wake up, I'm going to be writing scripts. And so my goal is, since I didn't upload like a single video, I uploaded 1 video last year, and then I haven't uploaded any this year. So I'm going to try to make 5 videos, and then at the end of December, just release them all, like, maybe 2 a week or something. That way, my channel can have videos again. So give a Christmas present, basically. So I'm excited. I already got 1 done. It's about Bocchi the Rock. So, we'll see what happens after that.
I liked that show a lot. It was fun.
I did too.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
Pup, what are you doing?
Right. Yes.
You are so cool. I love you, Ian. There's definitely inevitably going to be new videos going up on my channel. I just recently got one up about the more recent Shadow Gens trailer. And if you want to hear my more concise thoughts on that, that's a great way of doing it. But here's what I have been working on. I'm just going to throw it up on screen. That's just a preview. That. As you know, I'm making a Sonic fan short film. So I'll just show you that little preview of one of the little digital sets I've been constructing. And you can probably guess what the fuck that's going to be. The hell. Yeah. So it is.
Cool shit.
Very cool.
It looks good. Been looking good.
Yep.
That concludes the broadcast day. Who wants the last word?
Hell yeah.
Bye.